Facebook.
Welcome to this episode of Fish North Georgia's The Live Well, brought to you by For Her Outdoor Apparel. Check out their full lineup of casual performance apparel at forheroutdoor.com. That's the number 4, heroutdoorapparel.com. Here's Danny.
Man, I absolutely love it. Here's Danny. I absolutely love following up that that professional.
Here's Danny.
Professional voice of Paul Coonan behind it there. Guys, welcome to the Live Well this Thursday night. We're glad that you guys are watching us. If you're watching us later on YouTube, hey, we enjoy you too. We got a great show ahead of us tonight. It's always fun when we got LJ and the crew from Lanier Baits in the house. We're going to be talking some finesse fishing. We'll get into some other types of fishing too as well. You know, spawn is upon us right here at Lake Lanier and in these North Georgia lakes. And so we got a whole bevy of ways to, you like that word, bevy? I don't even know if that's the right word, but we got a lot of ways. Get off your phone, LJ.
I'm not on the phone. I'm trying to put it on vibrate and then put it in my pocket.
That's okay.
Well, when he smiles later, you'll know why.
Yeah, I don't even know where this is going. But anyway, thank you for joining us tonight. Make sure if you're on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. And if you're watching, are we on Facebook tonight?
Yes.
If you're on Facebook, hey, we appreciate you guys too. Make sure you join the group page. Also, follow us on Twitch, on Instagram, on TikTok. What else? Did I miss Twitter? All of these things. So we are on Twitter, Fish North Georgia and True Grit. So anyway, guys, as you can see, we're already in a good mood. We've been goofing off upstairs for a while. This is what happens when LJ and the crowd's here. So
how come I get blamed for that all the time?
Because it's just what you bring out. So I want to
talk
to all the guys right
start till you show up, baby.
I didn't see. Look at all the folks in here.
In the comments section, Alan Hanson, Jennifer Jones, how you doing? Doug Phillips, everyone there, thank you. Now tonight, again, if you're watching tonight and there's a female in your house, or if you're a female viewer tonight, middle of the show, we're going to be giving away a rod and reel combo from For Her Outdoor Apparel. Miss Jennifer and Peyton are gracious enough to allow us to do this. We're going to have a question. Unfortunately, we're not really prepared yet, so that question is going to evolve as the show goes on. But we're going to ask that question. Now, to win the rod and reel, you have to be a female. Now, most of the people that watch this show, we know who you are and we know your screen name. So if it's a significant other, you need to let us know, this is so and so. We want to give you that rod and reel combo. And it is really hard to concentrate tonight with what's going on beside me.
I got my pink hat.
Yeah, pop it over there. Pop it over there to LJ.
I got my pink visor.
He wants the camera already.
He has got
supporting the ladies. Got my pink visor on right there.
Is that chair messed up? Because you look like a little person.
The camera probably needs to move a little.
Look at that. Look at that. When do I look taller than anybody?
Camera adds 10 pounds.
The camera adds 10 pounds.
But anyway.
How do I get this thing up, Tom?
Well, that's a question for your doctor.
I'll check with my doctor.
That is a question for your doctor. I'm not going to have any part of that. But anyway, back to the females, of course. Excuse us. But if you answer the question of the night, we're going to give you a rod and reel combo brought to you by For Her Outdoor Apparel. And guys, you heard Paul talk about the intro. Go check them out at forheroutdoorapparel.com. A lot of great clothes. Cool people, great cause. And also, while I have you, and before we get started and I forget, we're going to talk about the Women and Children's Fishing event. Paul, do you know anything about that?
That is the For Her Outdoors inaugural Let's Go Fishing Fundamentals of Fishing Clinic held April 22nd at Mary Alice Park.
That's right.
Lake Lanier.
It's going to be a great event. We're going to get 200 participants, and we're capping it off at 200. I think we only have, as of today, 10 spots left. All right, so this is going to be a big event. We're going to take these women and children. We're going to give them a rod and reel. We're going to give them a tackle box and some baits. And we're going to a T-shirt from For Her. We're going to feed them lunch. We're going to go through some basics, teach them how to fish, because we just want to get them in the outdoors, get them involved. I believe Lanier Baits will be there. There's going to be some other local companies. Don't want to speak out of turn, but I think like Georgia Blade.
Yes, sir.
A few other ones. I know that I will be speaking to open up the ceremony, and then as soon as I get done speaking, I'm going to cook for everybody. So I got the real high
cooking.
I see.
Hot dogs and hamburgers.
Can you cook, or are you going to be? We're going to have to go at McDonald's.
No, I can cook, baby.
All right,
I can cook. I can cook a mean hamburger. You can't really mess up a hot dog. Yeah, I'm a hamburger. And then Ryan,
he wears shoes. He wears shoes like Ronald McDonald.
Guys, it's going to be a long night. That's all I can tell you. That Ryan and Jeff Nail from Cash King. What was it? from Cash King. Nikki from Cash King is going to be there, and
Yeah.
Peyton.
And
LJ's going to talk too.
Didn't read the
I don't read emails. I just get told what to do and what to say. So anyway, they're all going to be talking, having a little bit of a seminar, and then we're going to fish and have a good time. Now, listen, we need a few more volunteers. So if you're not doing anything on that date, Paul, what is the date again?
That is April 22nd.
And if you're not doing anything from 10 a.m. to 12 or 2 p.m. that day, hey, we really need you. If you know how to fish, can't be just any Yahoo. We need you to have some kind of knowledge. But if you got enough knowledge and you love women and children and you want to teach them how to fish, hey, we could use your help. We want to make sure everybody gets that detailed instruction because we want to make it an enjoyable experience for them. So make sure you do that. Mark that calendar one more time, Paul, so everybody knows.
That is April 22nd. Registration cutoff is April 14th. You can register for the event on eventbrite.com. Just search Let's Go Fishing.
All
and
right.
select the
9 spots
For Her Outdoors Let's Go Fishing event on Lake Lanier.
That is awesome, Paul. You do a great job. And just for those that are watching us and want to know what the Braves score is, it's 2-0. RC has just hit a home run. Let's go Braves. Mets and Dodgers. Kurt Weehunt, if you're watching this at a later date, stink. So I love it every time. We celebrate every time.
I must need to get on my glasses. I'm sorry, already asking me a question. What does it say, LJ?
I figured out what's wrong with my graph.
Oh, yeah. So there we go. Anyway,
you got to hit that power button.
Got to hit that power button. So again, like I said, every time LJ and the guys are here, we have a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. So we're gonna have a good show tonight. Of course, I got LJ here. Ryan's in the house with me as well, and kind of talking about the fishing that we've experienced here lately. Ryan and I have been out a few times. We need a sponsorship too. Dr. Pepper. Hey, if you're in the house, no Bud Light, but if you're in the house, Dr. Pepper, we could use you. Anyway, we're seeing a lot of different things on the water. A lot of pre-spawn still going on. Some bed fish, some post-spawn fish. And one of the questions, LJ, that has been on my mind all day, and we're going to start it off with a good softball. I know you like the drop shot fish. I know you're really, I would call an expert at deep water fishing. How does the finesse game come into play during bed season?
For me or for in general? In
general, for you, however you want to answer that.
A lot of people don't realize this. A lot of people bed fish with a drop shot.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
They do. And what's the benefits of that?
Well, you can pitch a drop shot.
Mm-hmm.
And just what are y'all doing? You can pitch a drop shot, but then you I use a longer tag in. Now I know Jeff Nell he calls it power shot, and I think he uses a short tag in. Jeff does, and he'll go down a bake 100 miles an hour pitching it. I'm a little different. I use a longer tag in because if I'm going to get a real short tag in, I'm going to be casting it based on the angle. I might as well just throw a shaky head.
Right.
Right. Well, I don't. I use I brought my drop.
He's got his equipment here.
This was from today.
Lebanon, Tennessee, buddy. How you doing, Wayne?
We went out fishing today, and you can see I've got a little longer tag in than normal. I can get that unplugged.
Get that unwrapped there. He's old. He can't see.
Well, no, I just had my holding my rod on one hand.
I notice as we keep doing this show and as the years go by, LJ gets just a little older and a little older every time. We have to help him out a little bit more.
I am old.
How old are you now, LJ?
62.
62.
He's got some salt and pepper
60
on
is the new
Just hurry up
30.
and fix that.
What have you done?
60 is the new 30. But anyway, so you're basically pitching.
Well, you asked Ryan to do something he don't know about.
Pitch it to a dock. I'll pitch it on a bank. Right. I'll pitch it in a bed. You'll cast it past the bed, and you can pull it, and the weight stays outside of the bed, but the worm will settle real slowly in there.
Okay, all right.
And you can lift it without moving it out of the bed and set it right back down.
There we go. So we finally have the drop shot now loose.
And I normally go to a a quarter ounce or a 3/16 ounce weight when I'm casting it and going up shallower with it.
Lighter weight. Just for not spooking them. Any particular reason why you go lighter?
It forces me to slow down.
Forces you to slow down. Okay, that's
to feel the bottom.
Definitely want to say hello to I don't know if you heard me, Wayne Huddleston from Lebanon, Tennessee tonight. Hey, we love it when we get guys out of the state. And make sure, guys, in the comments that if you got questions for LJ or for Ryan, especially this time of year, make sure you put them right there so that I can read them. Bronson Cox, LJ watching Ryan playing with his rod. That is typical. That is typical right there.
I'll tell you something about the
you're the produce pimp.
I was at one time.
Aaron said, "Who decided the produce pimp would be a good interview for this show?"
Yeah, who was Aaron?
I don't know who Aaron is.
Ron.
Who was Aaron? He
Produce pimp got shut down during COVID. There you go.
produce. How does he know me?
I don't know. He might have watched our first podcast
Aaron,
where we talked about you came up through the family business.
People were hollering my name, and my guy was like, "I don't know who you are."
Yeah,
Man, my phone blew up because I was on the jumbotron with the Hummingbird. I don't know if y'all knew that or not.
Never hoid
No,
up.
I
I was
didn't
on the
know.
Hummingbird. The Hummingbird had their promo on the jumbotron before weigh-ins and everything,
Mhm.
and I was on there. We did that shoot. I don't know, back in February.
Yeah.
And my phone blew up.
and so not only have we made you TikTok famous,
I
now
see
you're TikTok
you.
famous, and now you're Hummingbird
Yeah.
famous on there at the
My
classic.
line was good.
That is
I can
is
see
awesome.
him down there.
Monty.
Now I just got to see him to
Hey,
hit.
Monty.
Oh, what's
Monty
up, Monty?
says hi and all that.
What's up, Monty?
So Joseph Gayton's watching that. He says you normally find the big spots spawn on humps or points.
Well, yes, and I'll tell you the pole markers. If you remember correctly, last year about this time we were talking about that, and I said go out on the pole markers,
Mhm.
and Ron Hanks went out there and caught a couple of big fish on the pole markers.
On the pole markers. All right,
Yeah.
that's a good two.
But the drop shot, I fish the drop shot year round.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll fish it in 2 foot of water, and I'll fish it in 60 foot of water.
Right.
The difference is in that shallower water, because I'm casting it most of the time, I go to a longer tag in,
Okay.
and that gets the bait up off just because of the angle of the line going in. It gets the bait up off the bottom.
Is there ever a time when you would rather fish a shaky head over a drop shot during this time of year?
50-50.
50-50. Just,
50, if they're not hitting one, they'll hit the other.
so you're just going between the two until you figure out what they want.
Pretty much.
Do you use the same colors? And I know every time you're on here, we always talk about light refraction
Mhm.
colors, especially when we get into deep water. Now, when it comes to shallow water fishing, though, how much does the color actually matter?
I normally go more natural. I'll throw a bold gill. I'll throw our neon blue. I'll
Mhm.
throw even
Out my hole.
a red or a red or a morning dawn is really good.
Yeah. And for those of you watching that aren't familiar, after this has been posted to YouTube, I'm going to go back and I'm going to put a series of links. I'll put some to Fish North Georgia where you can buy Lanier Bait products. And I'm going to give you Lanier Baits, lanierbait.com, their link there. So if you want to go there as well, and you can check out all the things, because they have a more complete line.
Man, we got scroll up some.
Yeah, we got to scroll. So you'll have a more complete line over there at Lanier Baits. So, I don't want to just talk about drop shotting all night, but I was just curious, you understand, because I know a lot of guys are throwing stuff in beds, and I just want to know how you did it.
Today we spent most of our time with our 3.5-inch swimmer and our jerk sheds.
Okay.
We did throw some of the hard swimmers,
You
but
wanna go check that out?
that's not quite here yet.
Mhm.
A couple more weeks, maybe another 10 days,
Okay.
it'll be here. But we were throwing our little spy head. I know that's Big Earls and Meadows, and I'm not sure if Raffy fishes it or not, but our spy head is deadly.
Okay.
It's deadly. It gets a little plume effect, just like a spy bait. It throws off a little reflection, but it's just a swim bait. I mean, and the little swim baits and our Demiki heads,
Yeah.
this time of year, deadly.
And I will say that we make a product like that, but I used your Demiki heads a lot this year when fishing for ditches
Yeah.
and just slow reeling. It's a multi-purpose bait.
Yes, it is.
It is. It's a very multi-purpose.
And one
bait.
of the things about our spy head is that it's rigged. It's made on a Demiki head,
Right.
so it's weighted to sit level. Well,
Hope you guys
one
can
thing
see
you can do with that is I'll put it on 8-pound line. I'll put it on 8-pound line or so, and
Give it a spin. It's been a long day. There we go.
I'll put it on 8-pound line, or normally a 10-pound fluoro. I mean a 10-pound braid, like the Cast King 8X or 13X braid, which is much like the cast braid. I'll put it on a braid with a fluorocarbon leader, and you can throw this thing when you know all those fish that start schooling and they're just out of reach.
Mm-hmm.
This will get it there.
Got a little bit more weight.
This will get to them, and you can reel it. You know, on herring lakes, herring are fast.
Absolutely.
You know, just barely moving it. A lot of times ain't going to get it unless it's real cold. But you can cast this thing out, and you can just reel it across the top as fast as you can reel it, and it just comes right. And then you can stop and go with it, and they'll come up and nail it.
Now, does that spinner kind of help it hold the water column that you're fishing in? Is it just more to give off the vibration?
I think it's more vibration and a little bit of flash on a sunny day.
Gotcha.
And I mean, with or without it, the other Demiki is just the same way. And I used the quarter Demikis. I don't throw the 3/8 this time of year.
You want to keep it up.
I want to keep it up some. The 3/8, the only time I use the 3/8 9% of the time in wintertime when I'm fishing vertical down 45, 50 feet.
Okay, we got a question there from Joseph Gayton. But first, hey, bartender, Joe Boo needs a refill over here. Somebody, Joe Boo needs a refill. Whatever we got. Joe, it's baseball season. Joe Boo needs a refill. So Joseph Gayton wants to know, do spots more sight feed like smallmouth?
I think they do.
Okay.
I think they do. Now, whether or not they do or not, I think they do. But and the reason I say that is because when I'm dropping or if I'm moping or Demiki fishing, whatever, they really react to the bait.
Okay.
You know, whether or not they do, I think most of it is sight fishing.
Sight fishing
for them.
All right.
You know, science tells us, and somebody looked this up, but I looked it up a long time ago to figure it out. They say that a fish's eyesight is like 8 times better in water than humans.
I hope so, because my eyes burn. I can't.
Yeah. So when you do, that's why when I do my leader on my drop shot, I tie the knot on the outside from my braid to my floor. I tie it on the outside near the reel, and I use a 7-foot rod, 6'10", 7 foot. So it goes up and down. I've already got 12, 14 feet, and then a couple of times on the reel.
Yeah.
So I've got probably a 18-foot leader.
Yeah, and so here's the thing. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I noticed I asked that question to a lot of people. You know, how long of a leader are you throwing? And a lot of people use a short one. But I do remember from our conversations in the past, you like to go long so that you get that knot. And you tie the Alberto still.
Yep.
Alberto, but you like to get that knot on the reel as soon as possible.
I like to want the knot on the reel, especially if it's a good fish and it's near the boat.
Yeah.
I want it on the reel. But it's another reason is, and this has just been trial and error through the years, is that, and I've told that story before with Brant and I, where I was up 30-1 on him. And it happened to be just adjusting the tag in. But I've seen too many fish that if on the short leader in clear water, I've seen too many fish that will be chasing your bait. And then if you let it drop too fast, I think you remember we talked before about feathering it.
Yes.
Just keep it in front of them, because if you drop too fast and that braid gets right in front of them, you'll see those fish go down, turn right back up.
Second they see that braid.
As soon as they see that braid. So I try to get a longer leader, but when I'm dropping it and they start to chase it, I try to just, because I can see it all happening on the screen.
Right.
And I just try to keep it right in front of them. And my rod tip is pointed down, because as soon as it hits bottom and I click over, that's a lot of times when you get them.
You feel that.
You feel the little tick on it.
How do you pronounce E-Weeks? Is it E-Week too?
It's Joe.
Joe who?
That's what you just call him, Joe.
That's his name.
His name's Joe?
This is Joe.
He said about a year ago, he said, call him Joe.
Okay, well, Joe, okay. Well, Joe, anyway, you can go to lanierbaits.com to get their spy heads. I'm sure you can get them at probably places like Hammond's.
Y'all had some.
We had some. We need to get restocked on those. But I will, at the end of this show, when it posts on YouTube, I will provide links to all the baits that are being talked, whether it is at Fish North Georgia or at lanierbaits.com. So now, you know, I was bringing up the bed fishing and all that, and through all these conversations and laughing and everything, you were talking about what you started today. And then we got talking, we went from, you know, the drop shot fishing on beds to that. Do you basically like to start off with more of the swim baits than you do with like the drop shot pitching it, or you say
so this time of year?
Yeah, right now.
Yes.
So
yeah, I'm covering water.
You're covering water still.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, the jerk shad, and I've got 2 ways I rig the jerk shad, and that's what we fished with today. And we caught both stripers and spots on them today. And just so people know, these were the 2 rods I were using today.
Ryan, you want to help him out with those?
They're both-
Help out our senior citizen.
They're both Cash King Paragees,
which
whatever.
is where you are with Cash King now.
That's right. But if you'll see, I've got a 12-pound braid, big swivel, and this is 17-pound fluorocarbon.
Your leader is.
Yep, and a 5/0 hook. I usually use 2.5 foot a leader.
Okay.
But you can see one of them is a 5/0 hook, basically.
Texas rig.
That's right, Texas rigged. And
if you don't know how to rig a fluke, we have a great video on Fish North Georgia in the how-to series. Ryan shows you how to rig up a fluke. So check that out.
When I fish this one with the swivel, I make a long cast with it because that braid allows you to throw it. I make a long cast with it, and then I start a slow reel, and just I'm basically walking the dog. Jimmy Sanders actually taught me that technique. I'm actually walking the dog,
but it's underwater.
But it's 6 inches under the water.
Now I noticed
sometimes I just reel.
Yeah, I noticed that you use the swivel. Ryan uses the swivel on his floating worm and on his flukes. I know the reason why Ryan does it. I'm curious to hear what's the reason why you use a swivel.
Well, one, it takes away line, helps with line twist, and the other thing, it lets that bait do all kinds of things. Especially when you reel our jerk shad, you won't just reel it straight. It'll come through the water doing like this. And as a matter of fact, I walked in one day up at Hammond's, and some of the guys were back in the back in their tanks, trying to figure out what we did to make our bait swim differently.
Tell me, it's magic, man. It's magic.
We did do a couple of things, but I can't tell you.
That's right. It is a little different though than the zoom,
and it does. Now the other way is, especially when
and this is this way. Hold that up, Ryan. Get that pretty mug right there. That is the face of Fish North Georgia right there.
That was just on a ball head jig.
Yep.
And it was a 90-degree ball head jig. And what I was doing with that today was it allows me to throw it further, but it also gets it down a little faster.
So you're going deeper in the water column with the ball
with that one, but it doesn't really affect the action. Was once you are walking, it's still going to dance and go up and down.
So you use yeah, it is sure. So you're using the Texas rig to cover basically 2 foot and up. You're using the ball head to go maybe 2 foot, 15 foot, deeper. Something like that.
And this is I normally use it on a 4 or 5 inch. This is on the 5 inch.
Okay.
Right now, I normally go to a smaller bait. I'm normally fishing a smaller bait in the spring, and as soon as they come off of that herring spawn, then I'll when they start getting on top with the swim baits and top waters. I do it. I'll tell you something else. The topwater bite was there today too.
It is almost time for that.
Yeah, it was there today too. And this is one, everybody knows that the classic was just one with Mega Live and with
it was
and with the Demiki.
Yeah.
And he was moping. It's called moping. You make a cast with it, and you just basically try to keep it still, and it just kind of pendulums down. And then once it gets down to you, you basically are trying to hold it still, but you can't.
No, you can't. The natural movement.
That's right.
You can't.
You try to hold it still, and just above the fish, and you'll see them come up. Well, today we had a fish today that did that. I saw him on the screen, and the kid that was with me, Jaden, he made a long cast to it, and as it was sinking, I was watching it on the Mega Live. I saw it sinking, then I lost it for a minute, but then I saw fish move towards it. I saw the fish move up, and next thing you know, he said, "Hey, I'm hooked up." And I had casted a shaky head at the time. I had casted it up there, and about the time he did that, I just lifted it up, kind of like hopped it, and when it sat back down, he hit it.
Oh, so y'all doubled up right there.
Yeah.
There you go. I got a couple of questions here. First of all, if you're keeping up with the Braves game, it's 3-2 San Diego. We just gave up a 3-run home run, but hey, plenty of time left in that game.
And Harris left.
And what?
And
Harris left, maybe hurt. All right. So Hickory Flat's got a question there. Our friend Drew, do you put a nail weight in your jerk shad? And if you do, why?
No,
you do not. Can you see a benefit either one of you?
I put a nail weight in a Nico when I'm doing that.
In the Nico or the wacky. And Ryan, you've gotten to where you do a little bit of that too.
You Nico rigs?
He's gotten to where he throws the wacky rig.
I throw that wacky on the ball head jig, on the wacky jig head.
Yeah, you can do that. What size weight you throw with it? 3/16?
1/8.
1/8. There you go.
Now, between Dane Hunter of the ABA and myself, we have made Ryan a convert to the wacky rig. and I think he likes it.
Well, the wacky rig is really good.
It is
at,
very
at
good.
times of the year.
And he can slay with it.
At times of the year, and I'll tell you, this is one of those times of the year.
It is.
There ain't nothing I can fish.
You don't like fishing for trout.
No, I'm saying bait wise. There ain't
Yeah,
nothing.
that's why I'm gonna start calling you catfish.
Catfish.
Mhm.
You know what his nickname is?
Cornbread.
Cornbread. So everybody out here,
was
just
just
let you.
joking.
No, it is. It's cornbread.
Cornmeal.
Cornmeal. So everybody out here, Ryan is cornmeal. Hey, Paul, real quick, we got a break. Let's shout out another one of our fine sponsors. Those guys over there at Buford Dam Bait and Tackle.
Outstanding. Buford Dam Bait and Tackle has everything you need and nothing you don't for a successful day fishing Lake Lanier, the Chattahoochee Tailwater, or anywhere else in North Georgia. If you want to go see Dave and the team, you can see them at 2595 Buford Dam Road. Tell them Fish North Georgia sent you. They get you set up with live bait, any of our locally made lures and tackle, and some knowledge to go out there and be successful on the water.
Good job. I swear, Paul.
And now back to Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, seriously. Paul has got the voice. He has got the voice. He's got the face for radio, but
Hello.
yeah. Like that, Paul, you did a fine job. Yeah,
You
hey
answer
guys.
what was the weight on the ball?
Yeah, that was my next question. What is the weight on the ball head again that you were throwing today?
Oh, it was a quarter.
It was a quarter.
It was a quarter. Now, if I had it, my boat. My Triton. It's still being rigged. It's at the shop. We hadn't even started.
It's
We're waiting on
a
stuff.
pretty looking, from the pictures.
Oh, it's a machine.
It's a
machine.
pretty
So I borrowed
looking
Meadows'
baby.
boat today, and I didn't have everything I needed.
Is he got an orange boat?
He upgraded.
It's black and red.
He
Black-
upgraded.
So,
that tandem
oh,
axle
Jimmy
front.
Meadows. Jimmy Meadows.
Yeah,
I was
Jimmy
thinking
Meadows.
Jimmy Sanders.
No,
of
Jimmy
Tennessee.
Meadows.
Okay,
and
Jimmy
I did
Meadows.
upgrade it to a tandem trailer. But anyway, I didn't have what I needed because I was in his boat. But
Huh.
so we were Demiki rigging the 1/4 ounce Demiki or the 1/4 ounce ball head
Mm-hmm.
with the 5-inch jerk shed. And normally I cut it down and do it, but actually what happened is we pulled into an area and the stripers were every damn where.
Really, and we're talking south in the Lanier right now.
No, we're talking Chesapeake Bay.
Chesapeake Bay,
Mhm.
full of stripers.
And they
right now.
were everywhere. And that's why I said, okay, we're going to stick with a little bigger bait.
Okay, just to try to.
And
'cause
he
you knew they were
well,
gonna
his
hit.
goal, the kid's goal was, he said he never caught a striper,
You want a secret?
and we got him on one.
You want to hear a secret?
Yeah,
Neither have I.
dude, you need to go out right
I have
now.
ne-
man.
What?
I have never caught a striper. Now I went striper fishing one time on a father-son trip with Cy Grissar over at Rome on the
Ustanala.
well, we fished that part. I guess it's the Coosa
What'd you call me?
Ustanala. They got them engine names.
It's
up there.
because you're wearing that pink visor.
Pink visor. So
Supporting for her, Jennifer.
Jennifer, that's right. Hey, we do that. But all I got to do was I set the hook, and then you had to give it to the kid, and the kid got to reel it in. So my son's reeled in every striper I've ever hooked. So this year we'll go get some stripers.
Well, I tell you one thing: if you never, I fish a jerk shad on a medium action rod with a 10, 12 pound braid, and then I like the heavier
What are you doing?
16 or
keeping you awake.
17 pound fluorocarbon. And the reason is it helps hold the bait up.
Okay.
And I can put a 5/0 hook on it and make a long cast with it. And if you've never caught a big striper doing that,
Right.
we caught last year we pulled up on one of a blow through, and the two gentlemen I had with me on their first cast, one of them caught a 4.5 pound spot out of 2 foot of water, and the other one caught about a 15 pound striper out of 2 foot of water.
At a 2 foot of water.
And if you have not seen all hell break loose, when that striper hit in that shallow water,
yeah,
it was unbelievable.
well, it's funny. I've seen people talk, I've heard people talk about hooking up stripers real shallow.
yeah.
And it's just the explosive, and then all of a sudden they're just running you deep real quick.
And
It's
all he could do
intense.
was
It is very intense.
he asked,
very
"What do
intense.
I do?" I said, "Hold on."
Yeah.
And we turned the boat and hit the trolling mode and started following them a little bit.
All right. So Steve Pinkston's in the house. Well, the nut grabber. That's how
Hey.
he says hello to you.
I liked your
Dylan Johnson caught
Grab
his
and go.
grab and go. Caught his first topwater fish this Tuesday. Tracy Coker caught a 9.5 pound striper in 3 feet of water 2 years ago.
that boy.
So that's
That boy. Pinkston put a picture up of me the other day holding his nuts.
And with that, we just got demonetized, and we will see you next week.
no,
No, seriously.
no, I'm serious.
No, I know.
I had 2
Yeah,
packs
you
of
had
this.
If you ever get it,
There's no coming back, man.
can we put the camera back on him real quick? Can you show us how you were holding said nuts?
What that? Earl took the picture.
How was you holding them again?
I like this.
Like that.
Let me get my hands up here.
So undoubtedly,
I had
for those
2
of you
packs of
watching,
nuts.
if you get a chance to meet Mr. Pinkston, go up to him 2-handed and say hello, shake his hand. I guess. Like
Yeah, he
that.
shakes a little different.
Got a question from Scratch Fishing.
Fondling.
When you find the stripers schooled up like that, will the spots be with them? Is it worth popped up fighting off a couple of stripers to potentially catch a spot?
Well, I will tell you, the big spots run with the stripers now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I guess they've evolved with the herring in the lake, but they'll run with the big stripers.
Okay, Ryan, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah.
Well, add it.
Yeah. Yeah. If you find stripers that are willing to eat, there's spots in there somewhere. Don't leave.
And they're normally big spots.
Now,
good spots.
now, let me ask you this, and I want both of you to answer because you're a hummingbird guy. He has a Garmin. All right.
G word.
He has a G word. You have a hummingbird. On the Mega Live and then on the Garmin, can you look at a fish and say striper? Can you tell?
Yeah.
Or what is it that gives you off? You know, that's a bunch of stripers, not spots.
Well, today I will tell you this. I tweaked up Meadows Mega Live today.
Mm-hmm.
We updated it and tweaked it up. And Jaden, he was 19-year-old, was with me today, and we actually saw a striper swimming by. I mean, we knew it was a striper. You could see him the way he was swimming.
Yeah.
Is it the way it swims, or
it just looked like one?
It's the size.
Yeah,
It's the
size, and it just looked like a striper.
yeah?
That's
Because
the
because
size.
Ryan says, and I believe him because he showed me. You can tell the difference in blueback herring and threadfin shad
Yeah,
by
I
the size of the ball and the speed of the fish. So,
Yeah, I always tell people, and this is my way of deciphering. When you see a big ball of bait,
Mhm.
90% of the time that's threadfin.
Yeah.
When you see them spread out a little bit, and sometimes it just looks cloudy, but you know they'll spread out like horizontal. Those are herring,
those are herring.
Or they're in beam.
and then they're
And
out.
then all of a sudden they go,
then they're out of beam.
they leave. It's
know,
like, oh.
That's one of the things my cousin that I fish with. He finally got a he has a Garmin. He has hummingbird other stuff, so a little bit of a mixture. And I find that a lot of people do mix the two. But he said the thing that this forward facing sonar showed him, number one, is that the fish they're always moving. It seems like. Now I know when we get in the wintertime, they'll sit on the bottom. Not only are they moving, but how fast they're moving.
Oh yeah, they don't play. Man, how do I say this in the right way?
Say it like you need it.
Spots and stripers, when the spots are running with the stripers, if they don't move fast, they're left behind. Because the stripers are always moving and they're fast. Stripers are
Does it make you
going to
uncomfortable?
kiss.
Does it make you uncomfortable? Right now, listen.
Ryan's looking at me right now. You want to
I got
kiss?
secondhand embarrassment just
I was-
watching that. I was just like,
I was listening.
I think Ryan's gonna lick
I'm
you.
about to. Hi.
Oh Lord, oh Lord. But you're right, because the stripers are flying after the bait, and the spots, if they don't keep up, they're not gonna get
They ain't
any.
gonna get none anyway.
Yeah,
But
okay.
but I've seen like wolf packs of spots, and I tell you who you know Mario T. Myers.
I do, Mr. Your Outdoor Adventures. You can follow him on Facebook. He's got Your Outdoor Adventures, Your Outdoor Camping, Your Outdoor Picnicking. He's got all kinds of Your Outdoor stuff. Follow him on Facebook. Good guy.
Well,
I married him. Did you know that?
Were you the husband or the wife?
No. I was the guy that read the vows, man.
Oh,
Listen,
okay, my bad.
Atlantis Tide. There we go. I know. Him and his wife. I told Mario. I said, listen. I made the comment. I don't know what you guys are laughing at over there. But I said, you know what? If you get married to that girl, I'll go get ordained and I'll marry you. 2 years later, he comes back and says, yeah, I'm ready to go. And I was like, oh gosh, I gotta go. So I went on the internet to Universal Life, whatever church like that, told them that I want to marry people. Click the button, gave them $39.95, and I can marry you. And Fish North Georgia would do your wedding for a small fee. If you guys are interested in getting married, we'll do it at the lake. We'll do it right here at the store. You just let us know. Trying to make a little money.
Any two of you guys.
I'll be the ring
No.
bearer.
Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that.
Services.
We have our limitations on who we're going to marry, so you just keep that up.
Well, what I was gonna tell you was Mario and I were Mario went out with me last year.
Yeah, good guy.
And we were jerk shad fishing basically all day long. And he even commented to me, because you'd see 4 or 5 of them come up real quick after your bait, and they were here and gone.
Yeah.
And one of them had hit.
They do this a lot. They go.
And one of them had hit.
How loud?
And
Do the sound effect.
They go. They come up and they. They don't they?
Well,
am I lying?
That's nice.
I mean, they come up to it, they go, and they disappear.
Okay.
You know, one of the
No,
things
I
I always keep my drop shot handy when I'm fishing jerk shad, especially in May.
That's dang.
Oh, I know.
And the reason I do that is because you can be reeling, and a lot of times the spots will just follow you.
Mm-hmm.
When they see the boat, sometimes they'll turn away, but a lot of times you'll notice they'll go straight down, and I can look on my graph and see them going down and turn around and drop on them and catch those fish.
Yeah, I believe that. There was a comment. We just kind of went up just a little bit. I'm not sure who it is, about the crappie fishing real quick. Timothy Turner wants to know, anyone have a good crappie area on Lanier Allatoona? Want to take out a couple of grandsons, and I haven't crappie fished in 20 years. Tried today for a while with no luck. I tell you, a good person that you might can reach out to on Facebook is Kyle with ATX Lures. Look him up on Facebook. He's always fishing the area. If I were going out, these two guys got their own conversation going. If I were going out tomorrow, it would be shallow brush around docks with minnows. That's just, I'm an old school like that. Who can take a guy fishing spinning reel upside down serious? Listen, I find it.
I just saw the video.
There was a lot more than this one can involved when I did that.
I just saw the video, dude, and I'm
if you go,
What are you gonna do on one bit?
I was gonna reel. Just like
Maybe
that.
they were upside down fish.
Hey, listen, I was in the ocean, and let me tell you, Guillermo's spicy margaritas
whatever
will make you reel upside down. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here to reel a spinning reel upside down. Yeah, well, that's the way we do it. I can do that. Hey, I can catch fish with anything. So, but anyway, if I were going crappie fishing, I would look for right now shallow brush, because the crappie probably
we saw a lot of them today.
Yeah, so that's where I would concentrate on is shallow brush. But check out, message Kyle with ATX Lures. Tell the guys at Fish North Georgia sent you. He probably can help you out. He knows what's going on.
No earthly idea where Log Hollow is. Do you know where Log Hollow is?
Long Hollow. Where you see that at?
Log Hollow is
Hollow.
pretty close
Who
to
said
Long
that?
Hollow. That's Dylan.
Log Hollow.
That's Dylan.
Oh,
Old Dylan, young Dylan that follows us. Dilly.
that would be Long Hollow.
Log Hollow.
We
Long
appreciate
Hollow.
even our young viewers that don't know what they're talking about. So Long Hollow, Kurt, Long Hollow. But anyway, hey, crappy, you're up biting too. Hey, real quick right now, Paul, before I get into the next thing, I think,
Yes,
can we
sir.
shout out another one of our fine sponsors, Miss Rachel Collins?
I
from
would
400
love to
Homes?
shout out Miss Rachel Collins with 400homes.com. In today's competitive real estate market, she is the realtor you need
That's right.
to get an edge. You can call her on her cell at 770-310-0599 or email her, Rachel at 400homes.com. She's a realtor you can trust,
Pop
And
that
you
and
can-
camera
she's an
away.
angler,
Yeah,
just like us.
that's right. Pop that camera.
Point
that
at the
way.
sponsor, Ryan.
Like I wanted to take a drink, but you're hiding me. You got me right there in the camera. There we go. Wet and a whistle.
And
So,
you can call me at 1-900 Jimmy Love.
And kick them nasty thoughts. Danny, bring us back.
You ever see that basketball movie?
This look.
yee
Did you ever-
That's all I know to
Did you
say.
ever see that basketball movie with Will Ferrell in it? Do you remember what I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
You hear the
Lick me
conversation going on.
sexy.
The bear is loose.
Nick me sexy.
He did.
Woo. Okay. Yeah. So there we go. We've had Jimmy Love, 1-900 Jimmy Love, $9.95 an hour.
JIMLOVE, Jim Love.
Jim Love, 1-900 Jim Love.
All right,
Y'all call it. You
here's
see?
a question to get us back on the rails.
Oh,
LJ, how would y'all, or just you, recommend working a jerk shad this time?
I think I want to hear him and Ryan answer this because I know there's little differences here.
Well, I make a long cast with it, and I'll do 2 or 3 different things. I'll either try to walk the dog 6 inches under the surface, just a pop reel, just like you're walking the dog with a spook. Sometimes I'll cast it, and as soon as it hits the water, I'll reel it real fast with the rod tip up to skip it and then kill it. And then other times I just do a straight reel.
All right, Ryan. Your turn, Ryan.
Well, I do the top water action one, like he was talking about, skipping it across the surface and killing it. Most of the time when I'm throwing it, I throw it out there. I don't throw mine on a spinning reel because I'm straight. And
Holy crap!
I throw mine on casting gear.
Like a man.
And
be a man.
I pretty much work it like this fast.
I didn't know 1-900 Jimbo was that.
I don't make it stop.
Yeah.
Those are pretty much the two. I'm looking for a reaction strike.
Well, see, I do that too.
I rig it the same way. We rig ours the exact same way.
I do that with that.
Yeah.
With this bait, with the heavier bait, especially if I see them on top of brush. With this bait, I'll cast out. It gets a little deeper, and I will work it a lot faster.
Do either of you, in any circumstance whatsoever, ever nose hook your flukes?
I don't. Do you?
I have. I know Jimbo likes to
Jimbo
nose
does.
hook. Jimbo likes to nose hook his. I don't.
Can you see a benefit either way? I mean,
I don't see a benefit either way. And something that, and I tell you, Jimmy Sanders can fish the hell out of the jerk shad.
Mm-hmm.
He's just good with it.
Yeah.
And Jimmy and I had a long conversation about this one time, and he likes that 5/0 hook because it, instead of getting lip hooked a lot, it gets it up into the mouth a little better.
Now, is that why? And I know I'm going full circle, but when you drop shot, you like to use y'all's long shank hook as opposed to these smaller drop shot hooks. Is that for the same reason?
Well, yes and no. Yes, that it gets up into the meat of the mouth a little better instead of a skin hook on the lip. One. And two is I can rig it Texas rig, and I can drop right in the middle of the heaviest, gnarliest brush and still get it out.
And so was that the primary reason though, is for getting it down in that stuff so that you're not getting hung?
That's right.
Okay. And again, those hooks and the stuff that he's talking about are at lanierbaits.com. And then of course, Fish North Georgia, I'll have the links provided for you in the description once we're done.
Sounds like Danny gonna be ordering some stuff, Corey.
I know. I need to make an order with you guys. Seriously, I really do. Let me check out, make sure we don't have any more. Colguck wants to know, weightless or weighted as well? And that plays off his question. How would you recommend working it?
Both. Right, the first way, the way with the swivel is basically weightless in a way. But fishing it on with a Demiki, that's weighted. And that's exactly what Jeff Gustafson was doing.
Yeah.
With this. He was just using a 4-inch version.
You're the man. That was popped for me and handed ready to go.
Now, do you have any non-alcoholics over there?
No, this room's full of alcoholics.
Corey.
this room is full of alcoholics. Would you
Brian just looked at me and said, "Man, you're the only ones in here sober."
Oh, I'm sober as a kite. Absolutely. Now, Ryan, what's wrong with a fairy wand? Ryan, this question is for you. What is wrong with a fairy wand?
Yes, Ryan, I'd like to know
now,
that myself.
Now listen up. He says fairly. What is wrong with a fairly wand?
I don't know what a fairly wand is.
But if we were talking about a fairy wand, what's wrong with a fairy wand?
It's kind of like a wand, but it's kind of not. It's fairly a wand.
Real man of genius. Amanda Pruitt.
For fluke.
Oh, look at that. Hold on a second. Good evening. Danny, I will be giving Scott Barnes one of your personal hats signed, of course. Kelly is trying to watch the Braves game. So, in other words, for those of you that don't know the mayor, Scott Barnes of Lake Lanier, his wife and my wife work together. So apparently Scott might be trying to listen to us. And Kelly's trying to watch the Braves game right now. So they're having a conflict of interest in their house. But Amanda, you tell Scott I will give him a new. We've got hats coming in, and they're going to be on fishnorthgeorgia.com. We got a lot of new hats coming in, and I'll give him one autograph.
Order last week.
We did finally. So the hats are coming.
God, we suck.
We do.
Okay. I admitted it. Fairy wand.
Fairy wand. What's wrong with the fairy
I'd like to hear the answer to this one.
Fairy wand fairy wand fishing with a fluke is I just personally
I
there's
don't use
nothing-
a fairy wand.
It's not anything. No, I do.
Not
He's
with
got one you
not with a
No,
fluke.
no, I do.
You
But
use
with
a
the
bait caster?
fluke, I use strictly
Okay.
a bait caster. I feel like just for me, I feel like I have more control over the bait when I'm giving it action. And also, I like to throw my flukes on 15 or 17 pound fluorocarbon straight up with a swivel and 5/0 gamma got you hooked.
Okay.
And it just works for me.
That works. All right, there you go.
Okay.
Scott Barnes, love you if you're watching. Hey, pop out in the comment section. Don't let that white
Scott, you
scare
make enough money. Buy another TV
Yeah.
or another laptop.
Actually, Scott, you
Oh,
know
we
what?
can argue on this one right here.
Okay, we'll argue with that. Scott, hey, we need some
You can
sponsors,
argue.
more sponsors too. So they hit
About
us up, right
He
there.
asked about color.
Now let's talk about this question right here. When do you know what colors to use, like with water clarity, cloud cover, and wind?
You go first.
Okay, cloud cover, I'm always going solid.
I agree with that.
I'm always going solid. White, something with some chartreuse on it, but I try to stay
Not glittery.
Nothing that's right, not glittery. Nothing's going to. On sunny days though, our blueback herring or the FCN H2O, which has some sparkles in it.
Some sparkles.
Some sparkles in it.
Shout out to Big Earl over
Shout
there
out
on
Big
the
Earl.
couch.
The chrome.
On the couch. Our cat. Hey, listen.
He said so good.
Our casting couch. We got our casting couch over there.
Our FCN
Sparkles.
H2O got some sparkles in
He
it.
got some sparkles.
Swimmer. Some sparkles. Over there drinking his. He's over there drinking his tranny beer.
Yeah. So basically, when it's sunny out, anything that'll reflect,
Right.
and when it's not sunny, I normally try to go solid or dull.
Yeah, and I found that out at Latham a couple weekends ago. I was throwing a scrounger, and I had one of those on, but I used the white because it was cloudy. And the second the sun came out, that bite with the white just disappeared, and I had to go to something with a little more color.
Something with sparkles.
Sparkles, so a lot of sparkles. Now, does that also? How about this? If you're drop shotting or using worms, same thing. More of a solid color as opposed to.
No,
I'll let y'all two argue
You
that.
only need 2 colors of fruity worms to drop shot. with.
blue lily and sweet rose.
However, they sell a fine array for any and every application, so don't just worry about those 2 colors.
No, I will tell you something. I do have a couple of favorites. Like on overcast days, I really like our tricolor blue neon.
That's a good
I
one.
like morning dawn, and I like sweet rosy either on overcast days or in deep water.
Okay.
I mean, Jim Farmer and Lisa Farmer, and they were out with me one day, and Lisa and I were drop shotting in 50 foot of water with pink rose, and they were just slaying it.
Lisa is by far the better.
What can you
fisherman
tell us
in
about
that
Epic Flash?
Epic Flash?
Epic Flash actually came around. I don't know if Nick's watching or not. Nick Dupree had
Dupree
come up to
fishing,
the
yep.
place.
Yep.
Epic Boys
Epic
Fishing.
Boys.
He had came up to the place, and he had asked me. He says, "Can y'all make this color for us?" They were using it from somebody. I don't remember if it was Zoom or who it was. Somebody had a similar color, so we got it. We played with the coloring on it and all, and then it works.
You nailed it.
We nailed it.
Well, there you
We
go.
nailed it. And the guys, I'm telling you right now, if you throw a lot of this jerk shad stuff, but if you'll throw that sweet rosy on a like a trick worm rig, that same rig, or that Epic Flash, and throw it up shallow right now and just swim it out, I think it'll just they'll hammer it.
Now let me ask you this.
They will hammer it.
Let me ask you this. How come when it comes to jerk shads, and I'm sure there's a reason, you guys don't produce like a morning dawn or some off colors? I see other companies doing that. I don't really think, I think they're kind of gimmicky. Do you see it, they don't work the same way? I mean, why would you ever buy a morning dawn jerk shad? But I see them on the market.
When we come up with a color, we test it first. And that's like our hard swimmers here, the Magic Swimmers. These are the 4 colors. You don't need any more.
Yeah, and I'm glad you did that because we have a Facebook user has a question, and we can segue right into that.
Okay,
let's pop that question up.
Tee
How
it
far
up.
out? Huh? Tee it up. How far out do you think it is on Lanier before the Seville and hard bait bites take off? And before you answer, let me say that I know in the tournament on Latham, which we have bluebacks in Latham, 2 weeks ago, one of the anglers went back under the culvert for the guys that fished Latham. They didn't have any fish. He pulled out a chrome a chrome swimmer like that, and they finished their limit out. So it is possible to catch them now, but that bite's coming on.
It started. If we would have had, I was in another boat today because I borrowed Jimmy's, but and I didn't have any of them with me in the little bag that I'd packed last night. But if we would have had probably any of these today, we would have loaded the boat because so many fish came up and rolled on them, rolled on our flukes, our jerk sheds.
Right.
They came on and rolled on them that if we'd had the treble hook, we'd caught them.
Now, what you're looking at right now, and LJ has them in front, they have a product called the Magic Swimmer.
Swimmer.
After LJ.
Have LJ hold up the
after Big Earl.
Big Earl. I mean, it's
Big Earl.
Big Earl, get up here.
Listen, I looked on the back of his truck. He's got that Big Eliminator. I always thought like it's almost like a plumbing thing. Like a plumbing thing. Let me go ahead. Can I go ahead and say this? I want to go ahead and say this. This is an original product. It is an original. Let me go ahead and say that.
You're talking about that.
Let me go ahead and say that.
You're talking about
this. Yes.
Yeah, all 3,800 boxes at the house.
Yeah.
We bought 3,800 of that's. I mean, that's been handled legally. So
I know it's been handled, but I want to go ahead and put it on record that Ryan and I have actually pulled the product out and compared it. I just want to say it is a different.
They're
product.
Totally different.
It is a different product. I don't care what you say or what anybody says. It's a different product, and I wanted to make sure I got that.
And one of the things about a Seville,
I wanted to make that
tell is that when you crank them fast,
they
run through the water, and they don't roll. And we've put up video on that.
And one of the cool things,
when look what I.
Get it gathered up.
When the
LJ.
time when that person made that comment, I gave 4 or 5 opportunities to correct it and say, because I even walked him through it. I said, "Are you sure you're saying that we did this, that, and that?"
Yeah.
And that's but that's water under the bridge now. So
it is, but I wanted to put it out on record as somebody other than you saying it.
Yeah, well, they're totally they ain't got nothing to do with Berkeley.
Right. Now, one of the things I want to show you this. Now, I wanted somebody to hear it come out of somebody else's mouth, a little bit of support. That's why I wanted to make sure tonight I was going to say it, regardless of whether we talked about it or not. All right, Fat Man Squeeze. So here we go. So
where are you going?
See Rock City. My wife took me to Rock City, and we had to go through Fat Man Squeeze. You ever been up there?
No.
You got to walk through this big crevice. It's kind of tiny there. It is a little tight, but the sign says Fat Man Squeeze. Ryan would have never made it. I want to show you, we're going to talk about these baits, but I want to show you one thing that they do that is extremely smart. You can kind of see it in the packaging. And even when somebody buys a Berkeley product, we recommend them doing this, but I'm glad you guys have it, is that back treble hook, put that feather trailer on. Put that feathered treble on these things. It makes a lot of difference. And so what is it about these baits? I want to give you time to talk about these baits. After we talk about this for a little bit, we're going to get into the question of the night for you females to win the rod and reel combo from For Her Outdoor Apparel. So you guys be ready. If you got a woman, girlfriend, daughter, significant other, or if you're a female in the audience, only a female can win this prize. So we'll have that question here in a little bit. But tell us a little bit about these magic swimmers. I know we've talked about it. The bait, it's that time of year. It's getting ready to come up. The herring spawn's going to be there.
The herring spawn's going to be there, and then through May, June, July, they're going to come up hammer these things, and then it'll slow down in August, unless we have it like it was in 2020, and there was low oxygen below 30 feet. Then it stayed hot all year long. So did topwater bite. But you can go out and buy a custom bait.
You can, yeah.
And the custom baits, you're spending a lot of money for them, $150 for these things.
It's crazy for some.
And some of them are up to $200, and that's great. I mean, the companies, they have a right to do what they want to do, and if people want to buy them, that's fine. But we wanted a product that one was more pocket friendly. But we wanted some customization to it. We wanted something custom, and we didn't want them to paint the chip or the foil to fall off or what have you.
Right.
So that was part of it. We tested these for about a year.
You did, and not only on bass around here in Georgia, you tested them
and
up
saltwater.
north.
Yeah, up north.
Up north on smallmouth.
We actually went we went up north, and then I'll get to what we did with them. We went up north. The first day we had like 43 on a drop shot, pitching a drop shot, and smallmouth. Second day we had 56, pitching a drop shot and swimming a little swimmer. The third day we said we want to throw these. Jimmy Meadows was in the boat with me. We want to throw the swimmer today. Or Joe Bauer. If you ever go to Lake St. Clair, look up Joe Bauer, great guide. So we did it, and around noontime we had stopped counting at 225.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then we got into a huge school of white bass.
Wait a second. Hold on a second. I thought you were a Mountain Dew Zero guy.
They didn't have any.
Oh, okay. I was just
They
wondering.
didn't have any, so I went Fanta Zero.
I was just wondering if something happened that I didn't know about.
So,
but keep going.
And I'll tell you something else. We got reports from people are now fishing. We had to go to a little stronger split ring because we were getting reports people were fishing them in the Destin area and on down to Marco Island and the mangroves for snook.
For snook,
they one of our
we need to do that.
One of the guys called me and said that him and his wife were having a real slow day fishing for snook, and he said, "I'm gonna put on one of the magic swimmers." He said they put those magic swimmers on and they just loaded the boat,
really
hammering them.
Okay.
But he did tell me I needed some strong.
Well, I understand absolutely.
But some of the things we did to it is one, I didn't want the paint to chip. I wanted custom paint. That's why the FCN H2O.
That's
which is so popular. We put that in the hard swimmer.
Exactly. Yeah.
We put extra hardener in the clear coat so that they didn't chip because we got we actually sent custom painted baits and live pictures of herring and this, that, and the other. And we went through. They sent me 6 or 7 different samples of the blueback herring. Until I said that's it. That's the one.
This is it. I don't know if you can get it, Paul,
because a lot of people don't realize even though they're called blueback.
Can I take this out?
Yeah,
okay.
Even though they're called blueback herring, they're actually more of a greenish. They got a little green on them.
And bluebacks do.
Well, and then we wanted a stronger hook, so we put a number 4 forged steel with a black nickel finish, number 4 treble hook, and what that did was it's corrosion resistant. Right. So we got stronger split ring, stronger hooks. And then I was always having to go and buy a pack of white feathered hooks.
Who told you to do that?
And we just put the white feather hook in.
I do remember one man named Ryan.
Was it you that mentioned that? Was it you that mentioned that?
I told you if you sell these things, I said when you talked about selling them, I said you need to put them with the feathered treble.
Well, we did it.
Check it out. I like this comment from Scott Barnes, the mayor. You nailed it, Danny. I can't hear. I had you guys blasting on the phone. There's 2 comments right there. So Kelly recorded me and Snapchatted my wife. Fish North Georgia won the argument. Fish on. Thank you, Scott. We appreciate it very much. That's funny. If you can see this bait, I wanted it out.
Well, when we had that day,
it's not our packaging.
He said we could.
There you go.
He said we
good.
could.
when we had that day on St. Clair.
This is a great blueback imitation.
I know it.
Yeah.
When we had that day on St. Clair, after the day was over, we put the baits on the carpet and took pictures of them. It looked like they just come out of the carpet, just came out of the. Now that doesn't mean, we did that for chip resistance.
Yes.
That doesn't mean that if you're throwing it and you hit it up against the bridge piling 9 times in a row, you're not going to have a scratch.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But overall, we wanted something that offered a decent value to the customer.
Okay.
And they do. They
absolutely. Paul, let's
Yes,
go
sir.
ahead, and I want to shout out our final 2 sponsors of the night before we get to the questions of the night, and I get into some more questions. So let's hit Red Bobber and Jason Sayers.
We're going all in then.
All in right here, baby.
With Red Bobber Gear, you can check them out at redbobbergear, all one word.com. They've got a full line of apparel and accessories featuring the iconic Red Bobber design. That's redbobbergear.com. And as most of us know, it just ain't fishing without a little red bobber.
That's right. And Jason
And
Sayers.
then last but certainly not least, we have Jason Sayers with J&S Contracting and Elite Pressure Washing. If you're looking to put some polish on your property as we go into the spring and summer, you can look no further than J&S Contracting and Elite Pressure Washing. They're serving Georgia's Lake Country, and he and his team can enhance the look of your property, whether you need just a simple cleaning and pressure washing, or if you need something as big as a full remodel.
We're not laughing at you, Paul.
Right.
There is a bear or something over there.
I think
Was that
Jason
you, Earl?
We got something going
if
on.
Jason
off camera
Sayer
here.
is watching, I think Jason's a customer that's gone out with me a couple of times. That's the same one.
It is
It is
Jason.
him?
It is him.
Man, we caught some good fish.
Yeah,
he
he's
and
a
I.
good guy. Earl, no more clear liquids for you before the show there, buddy. I had to introduce Earl to some good old-fashioned North
Sound like
Georgia
a
shine.
hibernating bear.
I'm
First-
pretty sure wind started. coming
First of
through.
all, he fussed at me because we didn't have enough beer in the refrigerator when he showed up. And then, we let him try a few things. And, yeah, that was the result over there. Sound like the Budweiser frog, which leads me into this. I had a comment. Bud Light drinkers do qualify for the women and children's or for the women's fishing question of the night. So if you're a Bud Light drinker, yeah, you qualify.
Earl and Raffy are
Earl,
in
you
then.
can win. So now I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Right
Dylan
on-
Johnson.
Right on.
Dylan
Dylan
found a Mountain Dew in his
Right
boat
on.
the other day
Yeah.
after he got.
So Ryan, while I'm doing this, can you think of a question of the night real quick for the female audience or that persuasion?
In the meantime,
In the meantime,
tell me that's
I
not-
want to, while Ryan's thinking of the question for the Rod and Reel giveaway from Her Outdoor Apparel, look at this thing. Now, I'm going to tell you right now,
Just look at it.
look at it. Just look at this.
Just look at it.
If you throw a blueback and you want to mimic a blueback with a swimmer style bait, this is good. Now, the question after we give away the Rod and Reel, if Ryan can get a question, I want to talk to you and you can go ahead and get your thoughts because you have 4 custom colors and I want to know where and when you would throw each color. So be thinking about that.
I already know.
Yeah, good. I knew you would.
We
So-
already know. We tested them for a year.
okay, good. So we're going to have that.
We got a
Ryan-
question for you, LJ.
Ryan, do we have a question?
You do?
We do have a question. Let's-
Ron Swinford.
Ron-
What is LJ's setup for the swimmer?
Go ahead and answer that while Ryan thinks about it.
Bait casting reel with 12 to 14 pound fluorocarbon.
A what kind of reel?
Bait caster.
Okay.
Casting is overrated, I know, but I do it.
I just wanted to make you say it twice.
Hey, wait, fluoro or mono?
No, it's fluoro.
Fluoro.
I
okay.
like fluoro because it'll sink a little bit. But yeah,
Fluoro's
12
like
to-
beer. Everybody's got a brand. What are you
That's right.
throwing?
12 to 14. I use 2 for my drop shot, or for my drop shot rods, my spinning rods with leader, or on a rod. I use either the Cast King 100% fluorocarbon, or I'll use Sniper FC Sniper Sunline. But I use 12 to 14 pound on the bait caster, and you can throw that thing a mile. It weighs 3/4 of
Yeah,
an
you
ounce.
can, you can chunk these puppies.
3/4 of an ounce, and it's a slow sinker. But
Can
you can.
And
you
what
can cast-
what kind of rod are you favoring there?
I normally throw it on a medium heavy.
On a medium heavy rod.
Speed
All right.
Speed Demon or Paragee model. That's me. You're asking me from Cast King. I use a Speed Demon rod or a Paragee rod, and I use those in a medium heavy, 7 foot, 7'3". I mean, I'm shorter. Some people can get away. Tall guys can get away with 7'6" or so.
Yeah. So, but we love our short.
We got
cat
a Facebook user here. If you want to be identified,
yeah.
you can go to www.streamyard.com/Facebook and we can see your name.
people.
What's MSRP on the swimmer?
So I want to talk
Cole,
about this thing.
it's Corey. I need some of those swimmers.
So I believe they're $39.99.
$39.99.
But I want to preface this by saying that 4 colors, they are colors that you're not going to find. So they are a custom color.
They are.
We mentioned going and buying custom baits that
And
you
real chrome.
they are in real chrome. We mentioned that. Can you find the lesser alternative? Yes, but you're not going to get this color. This might be one of the prettier ones I've ever held in my hand right here. And in fact,
Quality.
quality.
Big Girl's off
Yeah.
screen and telling us
And
quality.
I don't know if LJ is going to get this one back tonight, because I've got a tournament on Alatoona that I might, since they got the bluebacks. I might be using this, but
Isn't that
$39.99.
Isn't that a bad?
It
looking
actually
bag?
is.
It's a bad boy right there.
This is
That
the
was
blue
the
back.
color. Hey, that was the color. That was the color at St. Clair
Yeah.
that we put that in the FCN H2O. That
Right.
we quit counting. We figured we had 275 fish on it. Didn't have a scratch on it.
I will say this. I know the similar product with Berkeley and all that, but you're not going to find that color. You're just not going to find this color. I don't know why they're not
It's blue back here. Well, I will tell you.
I don't know why they're not smart enough to make this color, but they don't have this color.
Well, that's custom.
That's what I'm saying.
But I will tell you, you can crank that as fast as you can. I mean, we did some in the pool the other day. We've done some on the lake. You can crank it as fast as you can, and it will not roll and come up.
Let me just hide this right over here. All right, so let's go ahead and real quick before I get into some more questions for LJ, the Drop Shot Jedi. But we're talking a lot more than drop shot tonight, which is good because we talk drop shot with you a lot. I like doing this.
Needing some orange crush, I do.
Needing some. You thirsty there, Yoda over there? So anyway, all right. So again, right
Did you
now,
call him Yodo?
Yodo. I don't know what the hell I just called him, but I called him something.
Yoda.
Yoda. Yoda.
No.
Thirsty you are for
That word you just said, that's copyrighted. Yodo, I think that's in the public
Okay,
domain.
yeah, Yodo.
That's legal.
There's
We can say
you
that.
are right there. So, yeah, I've been thrown back because normally you come in with a Diet Mountain Dew
Well, yeah, they
or
didn't
the
have.
Mountain Dew Zero or
Oh,
something.
they didn't have one. All they had was y'all are out here. Y'all don't have that Mountain Dew.
Listen, out here we have clear liquids like I gave Earl, and we have Fanta. That's it. That is Marble Hill, Georgia.
Zero
right there.
sugar Fanta.
Zero sugar Fanta. If you are associated with Fanta or any of its products, we would love to have you as a sponsor. All right, got to make that money. Some real quick. Are you using a snap in front of the hard swimmer? No,
Never. Never.
I will say you this. I will tell you this. I have used a 40 pound, a 30 pound or 40 pound, something like that, snap in the front. But I take the little ring, the little ring I put on the bottom, and I have done that before. And the reason is I can change them out faster.
Okay.
I have done
When
that
you're
before.
searching for color.
That's right.
Okay,
I've done
I
that.
understand
I've done that before. It works pretty good and it holds up.
Okay.
But once I dial in the color or dial in what they want, I won't do it.
Okay. We're going to get to that next question here right after we give away this rod and reel combo from For Her Outdoor Apparel. It will be a bait casting combo. It will be a right-handed reel. We're going to go ahead and set that up. We do not have it down here with us, but you will get that. More than likely, lose? Hey.
Yeah.
Lose, it will be a lose combo. One thing about Jennifer and Peyton, they like to fish with good stuff, so it will not be a cheap one. It will be a very good combo that will serve you well. So, again, right now, females, your wife, your daughter, girlfriend, female
Ladies.
viewer, or Bud Light drinkers, you're all eligible to win this prize right now. So the question of the night, and again, first person in the comment section. Now I will tell you this. Here's one advantage of using YouTube to watch us. YouTube comments come in faster than Facebook comments. We've seen it over the years. Paul, you are going to be the judge because I always call this wrong and I end up giving away multiple prizes. Paul is the final. Paul Coonan is the final judge of this. What is the question? Hey,
It's the first one I see on the screen, baby.
You need to talk.
Talk about that.
If you're on Facebook,
Well,
you better be
that's a
that
good
much
point.
faster.
Right.
You
We'll
better be
talk
the
about
Spencer
that.
Strider of answers.
All right, get ready right now.
We'll answer both those.
Females
questions.
only. Females only right here. Or Bud Light drinkers. What is the question of the week? First one to answer gets the rod and reel combo. Go ahead, Ryan.
Ready? It was mentioned earlier in the show, and I think it's a good question. So, shout out to Advantage Boat Center. But what kind of boat does LJ run?
Oh, that is a pretty good question.
Aluminum.
Hell, I don't even remember the answer to that question.
What kind of boat?
Smoker craft.
From Advantage Boat Center, what kind of boat does LJ run?
Now we're looking. Listen, if you
Glastron.
are a wife of somebody that is watching, I need your now. See, Danny, you can't do that. All right, I gotta have your wife's name and she's got to answer.
Carver.
Facebook user, I don't have your name. You just come up as Facebook
it's
user.
woman only.
Woman only. We
Danny
got
Hogg said, "There's Danny."
we got to have that. Danny, I know is
Body by.
Sharon Westbrook.
Yeah, there
Triton,
you go. That's
Adam
the way.
W.
That's
Fishing.
the way to answer.
Now, here's what we need you to do, Adam W. Fishing, just to prove that Sharon exists. I need you to text a picture of Sharon to
Who's
Ryan.
Sharon?
All right, we need
That's Shannon.
Ranger.
Shannon, not Sharon.
Ranger.
My bad, Shannon. I'm just kidding. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get it to Adam W. Fishing right there. So congratulations. Do we know that was Shannon? Though?
Oh, Lynn H5. That's my wife. That is Lynn.
Hey, Lynn, how are you doing?
Lynn's down there.
Are you on the roof? You've been on the roof lately?
I think she has. Were you there? You were there. Hey,
We went down there. We're
this
like,
is no mess. We're sitting in the garage, and me and Ryan sitting out there. We just stopped and started looking. My wife was up on the roof of the house.
Why?
we looked. I was like, LJ, what the hell is she doing? And she was walking across the top of the house. And then she come down there. Hold on. She come down there like this when she got done. She's watching, right? Lynn's watching. She come down there and she said, well, I really needed to get that part of the roof fixed, because it leaks in it leaks in there where we have the grill at, and I was sick and tired of walking in and out of the house getting wet.
LJ, what the hell's your wife doing up there fixing the roof and not you?
I ain't got a damn clue.
Corey, why ain't you send Corey up there? He's
Hold
a
on.
monkey. He can get up there and do all that stuff.
Hold on.
What's
it
that?
says, and I said, hold on. Why is Lynn getting on the roof? Why ain't you doing it? And LJ looks at me. Oh, I got bad back problems.
That's what I said. I tell my wife.
That works.
Oh, my neck
That
hurts. My neck. Raphael, how you doing over there, buddy? Are you?
What are you doing
What
over
are you
there?
doing hiding
Our
over there,
favorite Puerto
Raffy?
Ricans over there.
You're having a burn.
All right. So I love having an international crowd right here tonight.
Yeah,
We got a
hey,
Yankee, a
hey,
Puerto
I got
Rican,
something
and
about
Corey.
About Advantage Boat Center.
What's that?
A lot of people have been buying Tritons.
Yeah.
Right? And they called me not long ago, and they put me on the Triton Pro team, but
It's kind of a big deal.
they went from number 25 in the world Triton dealer
Yeah.
to number 5 in the last 2
That
years.
is impressive. That's incoming, right?
Yeah,
That is
we
incoming.
sold a
All
lot
right.
of Tritons for them.
Definitely. Hey, support your local businesses, whether you're buying a boat or whatever like that. So that's pretty good.
Corey,
We
Lynn H5 is currently babysitting Blue Lily.
Which happens to be LJ's dogs. A little secret that a
Hey,
lot of
the
you don't
Corey's
know.
And,
Corey's dog.
Speaking of Advantage Boat Center, Danny and I are also in the process right now of looking into naming the Fish North Georgia studios outside of Fish North Georgia. We were looking for a sponsor
That's
to
right.
name the studio.
So if you
after.
want it, it
So,
could be
you know,
something like
Ooh.
welcome to the Advantage Boat Center at Fish North Georgia, the Advantage Boat Center studio.
I'll
So,
mention it to them for you.
so
It's
if you,
like O'Neill
yeah,
outside. He's like, welcome to the Bojangles.
welcome to the Bojangle Studio up here on snowy
y'all
Bird Mountain.
Y'all talk about how I wouldn't get up on the roof.
We know you.
And
would.
then look at that cold guck. Sounds like LJ.
That's exactly right.
I had
So,
a bad back.
Let's
Sounds
go,
like
RCA.
LJ.
Ron
Let's go,
Swinford, I want to
RCA.
tell you that I love you and I
Don't blow it,
appreciate you
RCA.
keeping us up to date on the Braves game.
Hey, you
That's
talking about drop shot?
Was I?
Cole Guck right there. Cole
Yeah.
and Cooper Guck.
it. Cole and Cooper Guck.
One day, this was on I think it was on
It was one day on a cloudy
I
day.
can't remember if it was during the week or on a Sunday.
Some glad
But
morning.
it was in the afternoon, and they wanted to go out drop shotting, and we went out drop shotting. It's hot, and they got a lesson in drop shot that day. We caught the flip.
You
out of them.
almost said a bad word.
We
One of
caught
those words we
the
can't.
fire.
The flip
You
out
caught
of
the
them.
You
fire out of
almost said that
I
word.
said flip.
Yeah, but I saw where you wanted to go with that right
The
there.
Bowberry Studio.
We caught the hell out of them.
Okay, go with that. We'll do that. The Bowberry Studio.
Bowberry Studio.
That's right.
What is that?
It would sound good as the Lanier
Bowberry
Bates.
Biscuit Studio.
The
I
Lanier
got a
Bates
question
Studio.
for LJ.
Go ahead, Paul.
And people love this kind of question, so I think
Oh,
it'll be a
God.
fun one.
Oh, Paul's getting serious again.
What is Lanier Bates' most slept on color? The one that's a real ass kicker that ain't nobody into.
Yeah, like if you could pick one color that is not, we all know about Blue Lily. We all know about Sweet Rosie. What is one color that nobody, that they should use? That
I don't know if I want to say it.
you want to sell baits or not?
Yeah, Purple Rain.
Purple Rain.
Easy, Corey.
Purple Rain.
Purple Rain. Purple Rain is it's a good one.
Are y'all working on them new colors?
It's a good one. I sent them off actually.
Okay, good.
Good.
Yeah, there's a
But-
little secret coming down the
There's
line.
a
We're not
little
gonna say
secret
that.
coming.
Purple Rain. If you purple, what's that? Yeah, Blue Lily Jade. It's
I ain't
Blue
heard of
Lily
that
with
one.
some green in it.
Oh, okay, there you go.
You know, kind of like the The herring thing you got.
The herring thing.
that you keep fondling.
I'm gonna fondle this herring there till because what you don't realize is you ain't getting this shit back. This is going on with me. I need this, but I got listen. I'm third in my points in my thing, and I'm third, man.
I got a report.
Have you seen my trophy upstairs?
No,
I got a third place trophy there. People think I can't.
Well, hell, there won't be 3 people fishing.
Tomato
But it don't matter. People think I can't catch
Tomato
fish.
craw.
I got third place at a 3
Tomato
boats.
craw.
That bait right there.
Yeah, again, right here.
Won some guys over in Alabama.
Yeah.
Won a bunch of tournaments.
There you go. So guys,
They were just local tournaments, nothing big.
When do you throw Purple Rain? That's a question right there from what's his name again? I
Joe.
can't say Ewok.
That's Joe.
From
You
Joe.
can throw it year round. I throw it in summer and winter. But I will tell you, there's a friend of ours named David Roberts, and he we were out drop shotting, and he put on Purple Rain, and he started catching some serious toads. I was
going to say that. Can you sing that song?
He ended up buying, how many did he buy?
LJ.
Oh yeah, he bought 500 bags from Corey.
Jeez, good Lord, he must have LJ. Can you give us the opening line, the opening words to Purple Rain by Prince?
I never meant to cause you any problem.
Dun. Come on, keep going.
I never meant to cause you any pain.
That's right, baby. Come on, LJ, keep going.
I like to drop shot deep.
I don't think that's the words. Just one time, I want you to go. Only want to see you standing in the purple rain, and I want you to do it like Prince.
Do it.
No.
Only want to see you in the purple rain.
Chorus.
Purple rain.
There we go. That's right. Come on, one more time.
Hey, I will tell you something. That purple that is a sleeper. We caught so many fish on that one day that David Roberts. Every time we'd set the hook, both of us, we wouldn't even reel the fish in. He'd just start saying "Purple Rain."
I have such a good time when you guys come up here. What about prism shad?
Huh?
Tomato
craw's another one.
Now let me ask you though.
Now I tell you, that's a real good one up shallow on a shaky head or on a drop.
That was what I was going to ask. When would you use that? Because it is a very deepish red color.
I normally do it 20 feet or less.
20 feet or less. Okay. What about prism shad?
My wife heard us sing and she said, "Oh my God."
Copyright. Listen, there's no copyright infringement here. It is musical assault, though. I will give you that in the first degree. Here's my question. Let's get back. Raspberry. That's my favorite Prince song.
I heard that today.
My wife loves Prince too. She is a Prince fan. So let me ask you.
Danny Hawk said, so
oh,
let
gosh,
Earl sing.
Yeah, let Earl sing. So 4-4. Jimmy Sanders, get this out of your system before next Thursday. Taco Thursday.
No,
or is that
next Thursday when we leave, we get.
Oh, y'all are going red.
Yeah, Jimmy Sanders drives. Me and Farmer sit in the back, and Farmer's there's a flat spot in Sanders' behind his seat, the driver's seat.
Yeah,
where Farmer's back here trying to hit the brake.
Yeah, he's like, you can't see. So I mean, it's
oh my God.
Could you hear Jim Farmer singing Purple Rain? Because you got to whisper it first.
He says, I never meant to cause you any problems. I never meant to cause you any pain.
Yes, I like Jim. Jim and they go to church for me. All right, so now here's my question. That about 25 minutes ago, I was going to bring that up. You got 4 colors. We got a blue back. We got the frozen H2O. We have a chartreuse style, and we have a chrome. Each bait, when and where should it be used? Is it more the sunlight, the conditions like that? Give us some specifics on when to throw each color.
All right.
And I'll let you, but listen.
I'll give it back to you.
You dang right you will.
Yeah. Okay, great. Okay. Sunny.
So right now, Sunny, he's got the chrome, the frozen H2O, and the blue back.
Be an overcast.
So Sunny right now.
That's right.
Chrome.
Overcast.
Let's do this. Pull back the Sunnies up. So we had the Sunny is the chrome, the frozen H2O, and the blue back.
The blue back.
Okay.
And why is this one so good on sunny days?
Hell, you're the expert. Why are you asking me?
Because bluebacks like the warmth.
They do.
They come up. That's why Lanier is such a good topwater light.
Okay.
They'll come up in the surf. That's where.
Okay.
That's why this throws off some flash and the chrome.
The chrome, of course.
So
that's sunny days.
Those are the 3 on sunny days. For I normally throw those on overcast days.
So you have the chartreuse color and the frozen H2O.
And because it's got enough white in it.
Okay. So what would make you choose one over the other?
Whichever one they start hitting.
Which would you? Well, I got which would you start off with?
Sometimes we caught them last year on this one. So like Earl, for instance. Earl called me. He says, "Man, we're getting we're throwing the FCN H2O and we're throwing Pearl, and they're just coming up and they're rolling at it. They're rolling at it. What what should I do?" And I said, change colors. So he put on I think you put on Blue Ghost.
Yeah, me and Lenny.
Yeah, and Lenny put on
that is a Yankee name too.
And Lenny put on the herring color.
Earl and Lenny, a bunch of mobsters.
They put it was immediate. Immediately they came up and all of a sudden they started hitting it. So if they're coming up and they're just rolling on this for some reason or rolling on this one, that's when I'll switch.
If Ryan just
if you only have one color,
listen, Yankee back there.
Those
the swimmer.
When
So-
it was
so-
sunny out, I was throwing a chrome. As soon as the cloud blew in, I changed and the bite started picking up again.
I don't know if you guys can hear that off mic.
So we
but
said when it
sounds
was
like-
sunny, he was throwing the chrome,
Have you ever
and
heard
when the
Charlie
clouds
Brown's
come
teacher?
in,
That
he
is
was
a
throwing
Yankee
the
version.
frozen H2O.
Charlie Brown's teacher.
What is that?
He
Charlie
said,
Brown's
"Whoop,
teacher.
whoop, 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 whoop."
We got a Yankee version of that going on. Let me ask you, of those four
Rhode Island's
colors,
home run king.
Right, yeah, Rhode Island home run king, Earl Porter. There you go. If you could only pick one color of those four, Ryan, I'm gonna let you pick first, and then LJ, I want you to pick it. I want you to tell me why you would pick that color.
If
Ryan.
you only throw one
Of
color,
those four colors that he's got right there, you only get one color. It's the only color you can throw for the rest of your life. What would you choose and why?
if I could only throw one color the rest of my life of those,
And that's from Joe. Joe wants.
I would probably throw this one. I would throw the blueback one, the blueback heron one.
And why?
Just because it imitates a blueback a little bit better, especially when they come up behind it. Because of
Hell, it looks like one.
what a lot of people don't realize about the swimming type bait, the hard swimming type baits, hard swimmer type baits, is a lot of people think that they come up like a topwater bait and they just blow up on it. But in reality, actually what it is when that thing's tracking through the water, they actually come up behind it and shark it. And that's why a lot of times your bite is when sometimes they come up and they finally accelerate and they grab it from the side. And sometimes your bite when it's right on the surface, you got to really pay attention out there, because then all of a sudden you'll just see a bull. And when they bull, your rod's bending over.
Are you bored?
I've been up. I had a trip all day today.
See, he bless his heart.
Oh, good Lord. That's what happens when you get old.
So,
All right. So
but they'll come up behind it like this. They'll come up behind it like this, and they'll come up, and then they'll come grab it. And when they grab it, they go the opposite direction. When they go back that way, a straight retrieve with these works just fine. 90% of the time, you can just throw it and reel it back. But there are some instances where sometimes giving it a kill here and there, where you really, a lot of times what I'll start with when I'm doing it is I'll reel it and I'll keep it going, and then I'll stop it, and then I'll sweep the rod like a jerk bait and get that thing to turn around. And as soon as it turns, I'm like this, reeling it back up to get it tracking back again. I'm trying to make it look like a herring that's trying to get away.
okay.
And sometimes when you stop it and you sweep it a little bit like that, and it goes like this, and then when it kicks off, they think that's it, and they eat it.
That's what triggers it.
Yeah.
All right, LJ. Now the question is posed to you. You got four colors of your magic swimmer. Which color would you pick?
Throw one.
You can only throw one for the rest of your life.
I'm gonna go FCN H2O.
Forever.
Okay, and why?
Because I can throw it sunny or cloudy.
Okay. And you know, I guess on the cloudy days, there's enough white in it to make it look
exactly
solid.
right. And that's what made that bait so popular. In the sunny days, you'll see a little sparkle come
Because
off.
of the glitter.
Yeah. But on overcast days, it's got enough pearl and white in it.
All right.
But I will tell you something that Ryan was talking about with that. During testing, we actually fished it it was in April. We actually fished it and fished it like a jerk bait.
Oh, really? Okay.
I mean,
To try to get that movement.
and you would get that darting off, and they actually came up and hit it.
Okay, now let me ask you this, and we'll start with LJ first, and then we'll go to Ryan, because if the answer is different. Last year was the first year I ever threw any type of Seville style bait. Never thrown one. And one of the things that I did was, I'm kind of like Ryan. I like to cross the ever loving daylights out of their eyes when I'm setting the hook. If I'm fishing with a bait caster, reels of that nature. Is there any tips on the hook set when it comes to one of these? Are we sweeping? What are you doing when you set the hook?
I lean into them.
Just lean into them.
I just lean into them.
So both of you agree it's more of a lean into.
You don't cross their eyes with that
Yeah,
bait. You don't cross their eyes with any topwater plug bait that has treble hooks.
All you do is lean into them.
Yeah, you just kind of lean into
Because
them.
what they'll do is they'll start turning the other way
Mm-hmm.
when they hit it, and you just lean into them to pull the hook right up into them.
Of your baits across your entire line, what is your favorite and why? Across your entire line, and you guys have a large selection of different style worms. You've got the swimmers. You do carry some of Farmer's custom painted baits. You've got your different types of Demiki heads.
What is Emerald Popper's about to start up?
Your Emerald Popper's about to start. What is your favorite bait of any bait? And give me the color as well.
I've got to go with either a runt or a 5-inch finesse and blue lily.
For those that don't know what a runt is, kind of describe the runt.
The runt is a 4-inch bait, basically, with a little fork tail on it.
Okay.
But I will tell you something. We buy large volumes from a local person,
right?
And we have proprietary colors with them. We have MDA signs and contracts, and
that's
all.
Right.
But they and I'll never take that as long as they want to do it. They're local. We work together.
Absolutely.
But we do have some things coming.
Yes, you do.
Some new designs and some from our own Demiki bait, 2.5, 3-inch Demiki bait to our a new custom swimmers, and even some 4-inch and 6-inch, but I can't give you what they are.
It's coming.
Some of the
Demiki baits.
The new design plastic the worm is it's freaking awesome. It's going to be awesome.
Give us one little detail of these that are going to make what makes it awesome. Just one little nugget. Don't have to say the bait.
Corey says bubble.
How about bubble? Air.
Buble. Air.
It's like pooting in the tub.
Okay, there you go. That's called a jacuzzi. Hey, that's what Eddie Murphy calls jacuzzi. That's a jacuzzi for a poor man right there. When will the new stuff be available for purchase?
We're working on that right now. See,
well,
everybody knows we just moved into a new house.
They did. I actually like your location.
And between all the funds we used renovating and updating on the new house, I've got to wait to get funds built back up because we actually have the molds for the 95 to 110, and this one is the 125.
Oh, so you're gonna come up with different sizes there.
We've actually got the molds for them. I just don't have the investor to do it.
Well, okay, first of all, you want to sponsor Fish North Georgia, and then with your leftover funds, you want to invest in when their baits right there. So there you go, like that. And he's sneezing, so apparently he's allergic to that. So I have a lot of guys asking me about they are. I'm being very careful. So a lot of guys ask me about the different size of these type of baits. And so you're talking about this is basically the 125.
That's basically a 4.5-inch,
5-inch bait. So when you do come out with the smaller version or a larger version, what would be the scenario in which you would go to a smaller bait?
When they're feeding on smaller bait.
Okay, which happens a lot. Everybody thinks, right now,
it happens a lot.
Ryan, what conversation did we have in the shop today about bait size?
Well, we need a brutal winter bad.
And why? Because this was and you can lay into this, LJ, yourself. Why do you think we need a brutal winter? We were talking about a mag draft. We were talking about
we need a shad kill.
We were talking about a guy throwing a mag draft and why a mag draft would work in certain situations. And Ryan, what was it that you said?
Well, I've been talking to a handful of people have been throwing mag drafts, and they come at me with, well, why the hell are they turning away from it so fast? Some days they'll eat it, but most of the days they turn away from it. And it's first of all, like my mag draft has a lot of drawing power. The same thing with the hard swimmers over brush and on blow throughs and stuff like that. It has a lot of drawing power to the fish. But the mag draft is the same way. But when you've got an area that the fish are in that all they're used to feeding on for an extended period of time is small bait, and you're throwing a bait that's this big, that it has the drawing power. Bass, whether they're spotted bass, largemouth, smallmouth, they're curious creatures anyway. They want to investigate things. You get a good mega live or a G word or a L word one, whichever one you got on your boat.
You learning?
Whatever. Well, I did that for you. But if you either or, if you got whichever one you have, you drop a bait right underneath the boat or throw something out in front of one, they look at it, they follow it. They may not eat it, but they're curious creatures. The problem is, though, is when you get in an area where they're feeding on bait this big and you're throwing a bait that's this big, they'll come up to it because they're curious, but they won't eat it because they're like, nah, that's not what I've been eating. And, that's where, stuff like, that's where the Damiki style stuff, when you're using this and cutting that down to use it as a Damiki in the wintertime, where he cuts the boot tail off and you just use it with this head.
About a 2.5, 3 inch bait.
And that's what a lot of the bait that you're seeing. But we really, really bad in all these North Georgia lakes, particularly you're talking North Georgia. We really need a brutal winter really bad. And when we didn't get one again this year.
I was hoping to get one this year because that really helps the Damiki and the spoon bite.
Yeah.
And tell somebody that might not be familiar with what you're talking about as to why you think we need a brutal winter. What does that
there's
do?
too much shit in the lake that's this big. I mean, there's really no other way of describing it. Am I
If
wrong?
it would have got, we needed it to get colder this year.
Yeah.
If it would have got colder this year and we'd had a shad kill,
Yeah.
that means a lot of the little ones can't take the cold, that get that cold, and they just kind of flutter up and fall back down, and that's when your spoon comes in handy.
But mainly it kills off that little bitty stuff.
It kills off the real little stuff.
I guess the last time I had
I don't know about you, but it's tough to throw a bait this big on a bait cast.
It is pretty tough.
It is tough.
It is pretty tough.
It is that.
Unless it's a little George.
You mentioned something about water temperature getting down into like lower 40s.
Yeah, you needed to go down to about like 41, 42, and we did not see that this year.
What was the coldest water you saw?
It got down to like 45.
I was about to say,
46.
coldest I saw was 47, 48. But it might have just been where I was at. That doesn't mean it wasn't cold.
That's nowhere near cold enough.
Yeah,
because we had that hard cold snap, and those of you guys that fish a bunch that know this, we had that real hard cold snap that we had where it was wind chill was negative. Within 2 weeks, the water temperature was back up into the low 50s again. That's not going to do anything.
Right. Okay. I get that.
It's not going to do anything. We need about 5 to 6 weeks straight of low 20s and then only getting up into the low to mid 40s every single day. So that way the water temperatures drop to the low 40s.
And we passed that.
I haven't seen 39.
And God
Almighty, it's been 10 plus years.
Yeah, I can't even remember.
But when it's 39, the fishing, when we had the shad kills and stuff, on 39, you go to the lake with a damn bag of spoons and one rod, and you don't do anything else.
And what people don't understand, though, is it's 39 on the surface. It's not 39 down in 45, 50 foot of water.
Yeah. Okay, I got you that. So I had a comment that it's freezing. If you're watching on Facebook, I'm not sure why it's doing that. But, of course, always try to watch on YouTube if you can.
Learn that from LJ in February. What did you learn from me, Dylan?
That's from Dylan. There's a question right there from Peter W. Have you talked spy baits yet tonight? No, we have not. So LJ, real quick, how's the spy? Now hold up that Damiki again. It's got a similar spy bait type of prop on it, but it's not really like a spy bait. Have you been throwing a spy bait?
Hold it up higher so we can see you spin.
Hold that puppy up higher so he can see it right there. We want your mug and the bait. That's got a prop right there on the front.
Which way is the?
You're good. You're good right there. Give it a little
spin. The
spin.
prop, LJ.
Give it a little spin. Spin that prop, LJ. That's that Fanta right there. So you can see that. But let's talk spy baits for a second because one of our viewers wanted to know.
I throw the spy bait starting May.
In May, and why is that?
In May. That's when they're up and chasing bait around, they're up and feeding. That's when I'll start it. And I normally will start. And the reason I do that this because I can cover more water with it. I'll throw a lot of times I'll throw a 90 series. But they, the 80 G fix is getting it done nowadays. But the 90 series has a little.
Are
bigger
you
hook in it.
still with Rio Dual? I
Yeah.
can't even say it right now. It's
We're
too
still
late.
do- we're still
Rio.
with it.
Rio Dualis.
Rio Dual.
Duo Realis.
Duo
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Hell, I don't
Rio.
know where we're going.
That's
Matter
like
of
the
fact,
name
let's
of a
go
river.
on the protein boat. Well, on the boat, we've got we're gonna put together a wrap with the Advantage and Duo is gonna be on there. Humminbird, Minn Kota,
Eagle
Lanier
Claw.
Baits.
You need a Fish North Georgia sticker.
Okay, I'll put a Fish North Georgia sticker on it.
Big
Oh,
Eliminator. Is that going to
Big
be
E-
on the
Big
boat?
E, yeah, we'll do that. And again,
I'm gonna put that in the toilet.
if you haven't been watching,
Oh, the boat's got a head on it?
Yeah,
that's right.
That's impressive.
You got that's high class right there. Again, in the descriptions, I'll probably do it tomorrow. I'm gonna give a link to all these baits that we're talking about. So with the spy baits as well, lanierbait.com, and then what we do carry here at Fish North Georgia, there'll be a link as well. So you can go to either one of those sites and find these baits. My Plumber LLC had a comment. We had the coldest weather we've seen in 5 years, so I guess we're in trouble.
We are.
If you could do that, he had the coldest weather. So my plumber, if you could in the comment section tell us where you're at, because I know this winter, at least other than the one little snap we had in December, it's been a very mild
I think
winter
you might
here.
be talking about here.
Well, it's been cold, but not compared to what we expected. So Dylan wants to know what colors and what rod on the spy bait. So when you do throw it, what are you throwing it on? Line, setup, all that.
I've got 3 colors that I like really on the spy bait. I got American Shad, I've got Ghost Minnow, I've got the Bone color, and the other one is the God. If you hadn't asked me, white, like the Ghost Pearl.
Ghost Pearl.
Ghost Pearl.
These are Rio Dualis. What the hell was that?
Duo Realis.
Duo Realis. There
That's
you
right.
go. Duo Realis.
And I've got
It's been a long day.
you can,
I
most
was
of the
like,
time I go straight 6 pound.
Yeah.
But
do you do that with the fluoro so they can't see it?
6 pound fluoro. But I'll tell you something I've been doing lately that the last couple of years is I went to that 8 pound. It's either 13X from Cast King or it's a nano braid. But I went to an 8 pound. It's a braid, and then put a I don't know 6 or 7 foot leader on it of 6-7 pound fluorocarbon, and you can get a lot better cast. So the only drawback to that is that the braid floats, whereas the fluorocarbon will sink some. So if I'm casting it out and I want it to get to a 10-foot depth, instead of counting it down to 8 or 9, 10, somewhere around there, I'll count it down to like 12 because I know it's sinking a little slower.
So going back from our earlier conversation, when you're throwing your drop shot or when you're throwing your shaky head, longer leader.
I like a longer leader.
When we're throwing spy baits and other type, shorter leader.
And it's called T-shot. T-shotting, you put about a 20-foot leader on it. I haven't found that it's made that much difference when I'm using that light of braid.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
When I'm using that light of braid, I mean, if I was using 20-pound braid, yeah, that might be different.
Okay.
But I'm not. I'm using that 8-pound braid, and it's thread thin.
Okay. Peter W.
Thread thin.
Thread.
What did I say, bud?
It's getting late in the night. We're all
Thread thin.
So Peter W. wants to know what's the best herring colored spy bait out there. If you want to mimic a herring.
Mimic a herring. Smelt's a pretty good one.
Smelt,
yeah. Smelt. I used to love the blue hitch color. That blue hitch color, it just showed up. And I'll tell you another one that on a sunny day, Duo Realis has a color called a Morning Dawn, but it's not what you think. It looks silvery and flashy. It's not the pinkish.
Okay.
But it's a good one. It's a good one.
I want to switch over because we don't have a lot of time left. I want to talk a little bit about sonar. With the
I
Mega
don't know
Live.
anything about that.
You don't. But I have a 360 and I have a Mega Live. Now, I don't even have my Mega Live hooked up and working yet, but I have the 360. What have you used the 360, and what's your experiences with it? What do you think about it?
360 in shallow water, I think is great.
In shallow water.
In shallow water, but the more I learn about the Mega Live, is that when you go into that landscape mode with Mega Live, you can go in. I can put it on 60 degrees, and there's 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 degree is the cone width, right?
Right.
When I put it on 60 degrees and I go in on the landscape mode, I can see a whole cut.
Mm.
And I can tell you which side has fish swimming around on it and which sides don't. I mean, but the 360 will tell me there's a rock and a nice laydown over here.
Right.
But all the fish are sitting over here on the sandbar.
So you use a combination of both. Or you can.
You
You prefer to use the Mega Live?
I prefer to now that I'm learning more about the landscape mode.
Yeah.
Now that I'm learning more about that, I myself would rather see where the fish are and which way they're going instead of, that there's a log and a rock over there.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people love the 360. A lot of people love the 360 to be able to see where the targets are.
Mm-hmm.
And the only difference is you go into a 360 and say that's a log and a rock and there's a fish right there. You come in like this, you go over it, you see the bright dot. Oh, there's a fish right there. Then you got to wait till it comes all the way back over. Then all of a sudden the fish is over here now.
Right.
Well, if you go on Mega Live and I come in here and I've got it out there, well, there's that fish. There it goes. He's swimming to the right.
So you're seeing the fish as it moves.
As it's moving, as it's happening. And I myself, even on my imaging, I set my imaging up to where I see the fish. And my favorite screen is a 2D and a down imaging together. And the reason is 2D tells me something's there.
Right.
The down imaging confirms it. So I can ease over a brush pile in 30 foot of water. If I see those fish are midway down, I'm going to come right back and drop on them. I'm going to go straight to a drop shot. But if I see they're above the brush, I'm going to go to a moving bait.
Is there a particular, and again, I am so out of the loop as far as the right terminology, but when you set up the frequency on a 360 or 2D, is there a frequency that's better than others?
Well, it all depends. See, that's where the tweaking comes in.
Right.
And that's what,
because I'll tell you this.
The Mega 360 is much better than the old 360, the original, which was, I think, straight 455. I think it might have 800, but I think it was 450, straight 455. When you put a Mega 360 on,
right,
it's just like your imaging, just like your down imaging and your side imaging. The Mega is so daggum good. It's just like that. The difference is that shows me structure.
Mm-hmm.
But if I see a fish on it, I got to wait till it pans back around to see the fish again.
Yeah.
Whereas on the Mega, and that's the way I set up all my units. I set my units up to where the 2D is so good right now with chirp sonar.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've got 70, 80 beams going down.
Right.
If you know how to use it and interpret it, it's so good telling me what's there. And then I can confirm, well, is that fish or is that rock right there on the bottom?
Mm-hmm.
And I can confirm it with my my down imaging by tweaking some things. And I mean, golly, when you can go over a brush pile, I can cruise over a brush pile and I look down and I say, there's nothing here. Come on. Or if I ease over it and I say, there they are right there. They're middle down. We're going to turn right back around and drop shot on it.
Okay.
Now, what used to happen is when we would, a lot of times you drop down and the fish, as soon as you eased up on it, you see the fish start diving down.
Right.
They did not want you on top of their head, whether it was the pinging or whatever it was. Now you can sit off of them with your forward face, and now you can sit off of them, still see them, and pitch to them. You only have to sit back 15, 20 feet and just pitch it out there.
Okay.
You've seen that before.
Yeah, he's seen that. A question that I have, and this is for me personally, and I was going to ask this question regardless. You are married, and God bless her soul for putting up with you. She is a very patient woman. On my 360,
shout out to Lynn.
Shout out to Lynn. And guys, also, if you need any roof work on your house, Lynn is working Saturdays and Sundays She'll come out there with the ladder and everything. She's gonna get out there and she's gonna fix that leak. So we'll get her number and we're gonna have her add her as a sponsor. But on my 360,
Did We Hunt say right there?
We Hunt said, where's he at?
LA versus D-Bags about to start.
No, listen, Kurt, I like you. I like fishing against you. You are absolutely a great guy. Nobody cares about the Dodgers. Okay. I like Kurt Wehunt. He's a great guy.
Man, We Hunt's gonna be upset.
We Hunt.
He's gonna be crying in his oatmeal.
Peter just extended the show.
Peter. Okay, so we're gonna ask that question. I want to ask my question first.
Ask your question.
When I start getting out into 25, 30 foot of water, what I'm noticing on my 360 is I do not get a good image. And sometimes it actually just goes like, hell, it's like almost a blank screen. Is that in my settings or is that because it is better for 20 foot and up?
You can clear it up, but I don't like 360 in deeper water.
Right.
And that
for that reason.
For that exact reason.
Everyone that I know that uses 360, they pretty much only use it for 20 feet or less.
The shallow water guys.
Shallow water guys.
And I agree. And that's
so it's not me. I can tweak it a little bit, but it's not me.
When they invented 360, they didn't invent it for for the guys on Lanier. No, they've invented it really for all these massive flats, like on Rayburn and stuff in Gunnersville, where they can sit in the middle of a creek channel and they can see this flat over here and this flat over here, and then what's out straight in front of them in the channel.
I just wondered if it was the way I had it set
up. That's what I meant, huh?
Danny.
Yes, sir.
Boston Bruins won tonight, just in case anybody's wondering.
Nobody is.
Nobody watches hockey.
Nobody is. Good Lord, Earl. No more clear liquids for Earl when he comes up here. Let's go ahead and ask that question. I just thought it might have been me, but you said it's more.
It's not.
It's that the unit. Peter W. wants to know, is forward facing impacting the fish as well as you at all, as well as you can tell? Opening up a can of worms, the pinging, the constant pressure on the fish. Is forward-facing sonar a detriment to the fish itself, or is it a positive thing, or does it make no difference at all? What's your opinion on that?
For catch and release, I don't think it matters. Now, I will tell you, if you're running your forward-facing and you're down and your 2D all at the same time, that's a whole lot of noise going in the water.
So you use one or the other.
So like today, for instance, today we're using forward-facing sonar. The other one, I had it on standby. I use it. I didn't even need it for mapping. I didn't need it for 2D. We had the forward-facing, and we were basically looking in blow throughs and stuff like that, looking around.
Okay. And George Outdoor Guy wants to know, what is the better color scheme for the live? I use green, but is there a better one? What do you use?
I like the green, and I'll tell you, I like palette 3 and 5 on sunny days.
3 and 5 on sunny days,
and 1 and 2 on overcast days. I mean, when I'm on low light conditions, but I do if I'm having trouble seeing certain things, I can. Well, there's a couple of things. When you update to the newest update, they got what's on there called automatic contrast. And if you turn that on, then you can adjust your sensitivity and your contrast still to a higher level, lower level, what have you. And you can really tweak those units up. And then I put on my persistence mode. I put it on like 1 or 2, low or medium. And what that does is it leaves like a little purple vapor trail behind it,
which is your color contrast.
Which is your color contrast. That's right.
Words.
On G words. See, Corey made a video the other day, and we were out with one that we were tweaking up and fixing for a guy. And I could see the fish, and we were saying, I said, "There he is, right here. Look, here he comes. Here he comes. There he is." And it showed me catching the fish on. He's only a small fish, but I mean, I sat there and watched him come right over there to us. There he is. There, I got him on.
Yeah.
I mean, and when two things, when you can see your bait, you can see the fish, and they become one. Most time he's got it.
Absolutely, he ain't got it in his pocket. So Kurt Wehunt, our favorite Dodger fan, actually has a question: is forward-facing sonar not as intrusive to the fish versus the pinging of a 2D or down imaging? Is it a softer ping, or just the boat is farther away?
I don't know. I can tell you this: I can hear the 2D a lot better than I can hear the the opinion of forward facing.
Turn
Okay.
it
Now,
on.
I don't know.
Turn it on and listen to it.
I
Put your
don't
ear
know
down
if
to it.
I don't know if it's a different. I mean, I know it's a different frequency, but I don't know if the fish hear it differently or what have you. I don't. I can't really tell you. I can tell you it's not hurting. People that are using it and learning how to use it are catching a lot of fish doing it.
Okay.
And as long as it's catch and release, I don't care.
Right.
But if it gets where it's starting to hurt the population and stuff like that, that's
What's your opinion on forward-facing sonar in tournament situations, especially at the elite level?
Hell, it won this year. It helped win it. But
do you think it hurts fishermen as a whole? Take the pros.
Well,
I
will tell you one thing. You do. You get more psyched. You get more tuned into your sonar, watching that thing all day long for the fish than you do fishing.
that is very true.
You'll get, and that's something you've got to. I mean, I can remember this past winter. I didn't even turn it on. I was using 2D.
And you were fishing deeper.
I was fishing a lot deeper, but and I mean, you can still. I mean, we used it. I was on we did an install. Earl and I did an install, and we had I went out with the guy, and we were fishing 50 foot of water, and he had 2 fish on. He didn't even know we're on there until I told him. I said, "Dude, you got a fish on." And that was by looking at the sonar in 50 something foot of water. And he just would lift these. It happened back to back times, just lifting up, and they were there.
Right.
But so whether it hurts,
it's kind of it's
I don't
50-50 one way or the other.
I don't think it's. I don't know. What do you think? You think he's been out long enough for people to make that decision, or are they just mad because they're not winning? Somebody else is doing better than they are.
The one thing about forward facing sonar right now is that, and it doesn't matter what lake you fish right now, you're presenting baits to fish now with forward facing sonar that arguably have never even seen a bait before.
Because you're seeing the fish
because you're able to see fish that you never ever even knew were there.
Yeah.
Take Lanier for example. We always fish timberlines and stuff in the winter, but it was, unless you went over top of them and seen them real good on 2D and you could figure out what they look like on 2D to a trained eye, you could figure it out. But now you can forward facing sonar into the timberline and you can be like, sit there and look at it. And then you can watch one move in the timber. You're like, oh, there's fish in the timber.
There's a fish on that line.
So you're presenting baits to fish now that you weren't necessarily able to do anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point. Got a real quick question. I know we're getting on into the program. Jersey Cat.
What's up, Terry?
Terry wants to know. Terry's a great guy, great friend of ours. Check out his channel on YouTube as well, Jersey Cat Fishing Adventures. Hey, Jim, do you think I could see a flathead creeping across the bottom towards my bait in landscape mode on the Mega Live? Now, we had a catfish guy on here, and he said that there are certain things that catfish present a different problem because they don't have scales.
Well,
yeah. Well,
I'm gonna pull that up and argue that now. So go ahead.
I can
use that L word, but sorry.
See, I don't fish for catfish, but I can tell you I have actually seen bass that are creeping along the bottom. I've actually seen bass that are creeping along the bottom, coming towards my bait.
Yeah.
See it?
Yeah, I see. Ryan right now has his phone pulled out, and we're seeing
there's a catfish coming up to eat the bait.
A catfish.
And you can tell a big old
Yeah.
You can watch it come up right there. I know it's low rants, but I just seen it the other day, and then you can watch it come up. You can see the whiskers on the dang thing.
Yeah, the guy,
and then you can see him when he opens his mouth to inhale the bait. You can see the bubble trail come out from where he opens his mouth and closes it.
Terry, when you tweak it up, I can tell you, I can see and see. I mean, I've seen fish going across the bottom that weren't touching my bait and paying attention to it, so that could have been a catfish. But I have seen multiple times I've seen the fish that are right on the bottom. And then you can see them moving. You can see them swimming right at you. You can see them swimming away from you. I mean, there's a lot of things. Now, whether or not it's a catfish or not, I don't know. But I do know that I have seen.
You've seen
I've
the
seen
fish.
fish swimming at my bait and then just swim on by it like it didn't even see it.
Right. I want to make sure, because we're about towards the end of the program here tonight. We've talked a lot of stuff about Lanier baits and their baits, but LJ and the guys also do
Peter W.
sonar installations. Okay, so they also do those type of installs. Humminbird, but he can do other brands. But he's a Humminbird guy. I want you to real quick, if somebody's looking for a sonar installation, how can they get in touch with you, or for a guide trip to learn about sonar? Because one of the things that LJ does is he can go out on your boat, set up your graphs, whatever you have, to the best possibility for you to be successful on the water. If somebody wants to get in touch with you for either a guide trip on sonar, a guide trip fishing, or for an installation of electronics, how can they get in touch with you?
Well, they can go to my website is
Mhm.
laniergemfishing.com.
Okay.
You can, a lot of times lanierbaits.com. They can send a message to him and Corey just forwards it to me.
Okay.
Or you can send me an email at laniergemfishing@gmail.com.
Right. I've had a lot of guys that have gone out with LJ, and one of the things they talk about is, especially with the sonar, because a lot of us guys would get one, we don't really know what we're looking for. Through the years that we've gotten to know LJ, a lot of these little nuggets of information makes a difference between, having a successful trip and not, how, even in 2D, how to, differentiate between, the pixels under something. I've heard LJ say the pixels, and that indicates to him that it's a fish, and a lot of times he goes out with a client and he'll say, that's a fish right there. And they're looking at something. They don't really know what they're looking at.
And then we drop a Demiki or
drop a
shot
Demiki
now,
and they catch the fish,
and it's
so
there.
I would highly recommend it's well worth the investment, especially if you want to really up your electronics game and know exactly what you're looking at, whether it's 2D down imaging, the live, the 360. I would highly recommend contacting Lanier Baits, LJ, however you want to do it, and go out there and make that trip. So I think what we're looking at.
A trophy? Whose trophy is that?
That's a trophy that I won. I actually have won a tournament or two here.
They give trophies out to 14th place.
14th place trophy, and I'm proud of it right there. So anyway, first of all, like I said, guys, we're towards the end of the night. LJ's been up all morning. He's over there. I know he's tired, so I want to go ahead and close this. But first of all, I want to say thank you for you and the guys coming up, for Earl and Raffy's over there, and Corey's over there, not doing push-ups, showing the rest of us up like that. But you can follow Corey on Facebook and watch him do his push-ups, for the guys like that. But he
motivates me to go sit on the couch.
That's exactly right. Yeah, if you want to get
motivated,
motivated,
that dude's crazy.
If you want to be motivated to eat and watch somebody else do all the work, watch Corey do his push-ups. But again, every time you guys come out here, number one, it's always a good time.
Always
a good time.
You're good people, guys.
We try. So are you guys. And again, I want to highly recommend you checking out Lanier Baits. Go to their website. Or again, we carry some of the products here at Fish North Georgia. Again, I'll put the links in the description. But go check them out. They're a great local company, good guys, very good sense of humor. You've noticed that tonight and in past episodes. So, again, I want to thank you for always being willing to come out. Always, too, another thing about Lanier Baits and the guys is when we have a benefit, or we have a thing like the For Her Women's and Children's Clinic, they always step up. All these local companies are always so quick to step up. You try to get these major corporations to do things. It's not going to happen, but we always can count on our local guys to step up and support our local people, whether it be, again, in a benefit tournament, in a clinic. LJ and them do a lot of stuff. You'll see them at Jimbo's, a lot of these shows, and they're always very willing to answer your questions. And they do it with a smile and a sense of humor that is kind of refreshing, that, you don't get too much these days. Everybody's got something stuck up their rear end in there, but you're not going to get that with LJ and the guys. So it's always a great time, very educational. Make sure, guys, that you go check them out, lanierbaits.com. And again, you can hit us up here at Fish North Georgia. So
I've got a discount code too.
A discount code for you guys.
Cast King, KASTKING.com. KastKing.com. If you go on there, it's LJTENDISC. LJ10 discount. That's 10% off, and that was part of the deal when I got with them. They said they'd give me a discount code for the customers that anybody wanted to that they could use.
So yeah, take advantage of that.
And a
right
lot of
there.
people don't understand how Cash King works.
Yeah.
Cash King is a big company. It's a good company. Their components on their products are really good.
I think the price is what makes people
And
pump the price.
That's right.
And you're about to explain that.
They pump. They say, "Oh, well, wait a second. That's only $119 ride." Well, what they don't understand is that Cash King is online only. They take the middlemen out. They don't sell at retail stores.
Mm-hmm.
They don't sell to distributors. So a distributor will put 30-40% on it.
Absolutely.
Then the retailer will put 30-40% on it. That's why they're so much cheaper. I mean, if you'll go look at the components of the products, you'll see that they're put together. They're well put together.
Light setups. They feel good in your hand. They're sensitive. They're good stuff.
Yeah, and so what I'll do, I'll also put that discount. You know, they need to go to Cash King, but I'll put your discount code in the description as well. You know, to make sure so people that watch this.
You want to run the discount for Lanier Baits? We'll do it. Call it an Easter, huh?
Okay, go ahead and announce it.
All right, we'll just use that code. It's a LJTENDISC. LJ discount. LJ10 discount. That's right.
LJ10 disc.
Use that, and you'll get a 10% off of whatever you buy there.
There you go. So
but the Cash King, I didn't even know who they were at first.
Mm-hmm.
And they came to us. Well, right now they got Brent Chapman, they got Keith Poche, and Bill Dance just signed on with them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Bill Dance is the greatest angler that ever lived. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, I'm just telling you, but I'm just telling you, they have great products, and they cut out the middleman. It's kind of, you know.
I can tell you this. I've messed around with one of the bassinator, the highest end bait caster that they make, the elite bassinator or whatever it's called, and it's like $179.99. But let me tell you something. If you bought that and it was another brand like I'll just shoot from the hip on this. If that was a Shimano, you'd be paying $350.
I was gonna say $375.
Yeah. I mean, but that's what it feels like. I mean, they feel good, and they got good quality components.
And
I have two reels I use them. I got a Mega Jaws and I've got a Spartacus 2 or whatever it is.
Well,
they're nice. They're
a lot
good.
of people are slowly. I mean, the drop shot rod, the shaky head rod is a great rod for jerk shad fishing. Mm-hmm. So is the jig and worm rod. Sanders uses the jig and worm rod.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for it. But the shaky head rod, they've got another one. They call it the tube, super tube or something like that, which is the Speed Demon. It's called the Speed Demon rod series.
Mm-hmm.
And those rods, I use those for spy baits. You want something with a spy bait that's got some give, like a medium light.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got, I mean, they make it pretty simple.
If you want a good buzz bait rod, for example, or something like that, that Speed Demon, the 7.2, the frog rod, it's not as heavy as you would think it is. It's a pretty good. It's got some good tip to it, and it'd be great if you didn't throw frogs on it. It'd be great for like buzz bait, slinging a buzz bait and stuff. So it's well thought out. Their products are what they put a lot of effort and stuff. They've got some good stuff,
and it's not just rods and reels.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, their 13X line. If you're going to use a braid to cast, that 13X is unreal.
Okay,
it's 13 weaves that are tighter, and they've got some kind of little coating on it. It's real subtle, but you can just flip your wrist and throw that sucker like 100 feet.
Okay,
I mean it's good. But for drop shot and vertical stuff that I use. I use that for casting. I use the 8X finesse braid for vertical fishing.
Okay. Well, there you go. So again, I'll make sure I put that in the description sometime tomorrow. So, go check out.
You think you remember it?
Yes, I will remember. I promise you. I promise you I will remember. We're going to put out, because this is how I'm getting paid right here.
That's fine.
So there you go. So again, hey, we're gonna check out Lanier.
Contact LJ for about Humminbird products.
Yeah, he also sells Humminbird products. I know he has helped me out in the bind a time or two when I needed to get a Humminbird product for a customer here at the store. So make sure you check out LanierBaits.com. Go to CashKing.com. Make sure you use the discount LJ10 TENDISC. LJ10 discount like that. Get you 10% off and try some Cast King products. Listen, think about that. He's a guide. He uses those every day with his clients. So he's got to have something that can stand up to it and also something that will perform. So very good stuff. Again, LJ, every time you come up here, we always enjoy your company and the entourage that you bring. Again, I want to thank Paul again for all the fine work behind the camera. You guys don't realize it. It's a lot of work back there. Of course, Ryan, you guys come see us here at Fish North Georgia. Make sure, again, you check us out on YouTube if you're watching here. Like and subscribe. You don't understand how much that helps when you like and subscribe. We got a lot of great stuff coming out. We're doing a lot of the how-to series. Check that out. Ryan's doing a lot of specific stuff. We've got a members only section that is going to come. We were doing a Patreon. We're switching that all over to the members only, where we're going to do very specific lake breakdowns. When we're on the water, we're going to tell you where we're at, what we're catching them on, what you can expect. A lot of that stuff's coming. $9.99 a month. It's going to be active tomorrow. We're going to start uploading some videos for that every week. Ryan and I, wherever we fish, we're going to tell you what we're seeing. And again, as we talk to people, what they're seeing on the water, because we want to help you be more successful with fishing. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and TikTok. All that stuff. Again, you can follow Lanier Baits on not only Facebook, but on, y'all do have a TikTok, Instagram, things like that.
Yep.
And again, hey, listen, one of the great things about LJ and the guys, again, small business in our community. Let's support the small guys in this time because, hey, they're really the backbone of our economy and our country. So make sure you go out there. A lot of great products. Check them out. Guys, we appreciate you spending some time with us. I am going to put this on iTunes and Spotify. So if you're listening to that at a later date, hey, we appreciate you guys too. Help us all grow together. Our goal in everything we do is to help make you a better angler and to have fun. So make sure we help get the children and the women and anybody we can involved with fishing, get them outdoors, away from inside, away from the video games. Get them to understand that there is a lot of great things out there on the water. You guys have an absolutely fantastic weekend. We'll be back with the next episode soon of the Live Well. We appreciate you guys. Go Braves.
Hang on.
Oh, God, did I miss something?
Hang on. I just want to say, you mentioned the installs.
Okay, hold on.
We've been doing it, guys. All I can tell you is we do it right. We just actually did a $20,000 system in a bass boat. But we do it right. We used the right cables.
Mm-hmm.
We used the right wiring. We use stainless steel products. Big Earl over there. It took me I don't know 5 or 6 years to understand him.
I can understand that.
He knows what he's doing on the front of the boat now.
Why?
And last, I saw some questions come up that we didn't get to. Guys, just send me an email, lanierjimfishing@gmail.com, or go to the website and send me the questions, and anything y'all need, I'll help y'all out with it.
See, there you go. You're not going to get that from the big major companies. You're going to get that from all our local guys right there. So, guys, we love you. We appreciate you spending some time with us. We love talking fishing with you. We'll see you on the next episode of the Live Well. Have a great, blessed Easter. You guys be safe out there. We'll see you on the next one.
Go show.
Oh, good.